CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's an interdivision battle between the playoff hopeful Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. And for the Packers, it's really fairly simple. They must win today, and a loss by either the Eagles or the Rams will have the Packers in the playoffs for the first time in a non-strike season in 17 years. Now, the other road to the playoffs goes through Minnesota tomorrow night, where if the Vikings lose, the Packers will capture the NFC Central Division title. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown, and the happiest of holiday seasons to you. Well, Cinderella had her slipper, but the Green Bay Packers have had a string of luck involving one-point games. 4 single-digit victories have spelled the difference between just a so-so season and a record that now has them knocking hard at the playoff door. Dallas, on the other hand, they've gone from America's team to the worst team. They are now at rock bottom. A record last year of 3-13 and now only 1-14. They're just hoping that the season gets over quickly. My partner, as he's been all season long, the former Oakland Raiders great Ken Stabler. And Snake, is there anything positive that the Cowboys can get out of this season?
James, I think just the fact of having a year under the belt of Jimmy Johnson and his staff and the players will be a positive situation. Of course, it's the last week of the evaluation process, which Jimmy Johnson has done by alternating players by quarter, first and third, second and fourth quarters. And of course, the evaluation process has been one that has been year-long since training camp has broken. They've had 24 different players in here. It's been like a year-long mini-camp, so to speak. I think the brightest spot out of the year has been Troy Aikman and his development. After early season injury, has come on in the second half to play very, very well, and looks like he's going to be the franchise player that they expected.
Certainly has been a different story for the Green Bay Packers, a turnaround year, if you will. They were 4-12 last year. They're now 9-6. 3 players just this week named to the Pro Bowl. And, of course, their second-year coach, Lindy Infante, is a serious contender for Coach of the Year honors. And, Snake, he probably could run successfully for the mayor of Green Bay.
No doubt. There's 3 people that make it happen on offense that everybody knows, of course. Don Majkowski makes it happen on offense, along with Sterling Sharp. Keith Woodside. On the defensive side of the ball, everybody knows about Tim Harris. There's one thing that Lindy Infante has tried to remind his team of this week, is that the Cowboys are now in a position very similar to what Green Bay was last year when they upset Minnesota to knock them out of divisional title. They can hardly afford to let the Cowboys play spoiler today.
It is indeed cold here in Dallas, but 35 degrees today, actually kind of balmy compared to earlier in the week when temperatures were hovering around 0 and in the low teens. Cowboys had to drastically modify their practice schedule because they do not have an indoor practice facility. Dallas has won the coin toss and will receive. Chris Jackie will be kicking off for the Packers. And back deep for the Cowboys, James Dixon and Derek Shepard. Packers lead this series 9-5. Won the last meeting 31-13, and we're underway here. And Shepard from the 5. And Derek Shepard with a good return across the 31, stopped by Tiger Green. Troy Aikman, as Ken Stabler mentioned, one of the bright spots, perhaps the brightest spot of the Dallas Cowboys. Better since he came back from that wrist injury. Last 5 games looking awfully impressive. And the offensive line, Mark Tuanay, Nate Newton, Mark Stepnowski, Crawford Kerr, Kevin Gogan, and Steve Folsom at tight end. Backs and receivers, Sergeant Johnston, Derek Shepard, James Dixon, Bernard Ford, and Cornell Burbage will be in on obvious passing situations. And the handoff to Johnston. And Johnston bullying ahead for about 2 yards on the carry. Stopped by a horde of Packers. And the defense of Green Bay, Blaze Winter, Bob Nelson, and Robert Brown. Linebacking core, John Anderson back in the starting lineup after missing last week with a sore ankle. Brian Noble, Johnny Holland, Tim Harris, Pro Bowler this year, starter. And the secondary, Mark Lee, veteran, as well as Dave Brown, 15 years. Ken Stills and Mark Murphy at the safeties. Chuck Cecil and Tiger Green will be in on the nickel and dime defensive packages. 2nd and 8. Inside handoff for no gain. Roderick Sargent, given maybe 1. Snake a little surprised in that Paul Palmer, an explosive, diminutive back, not playing at all. He's inactive for the Cowboys today. Jimmy Johnson likes the big backs.
Came in and made an immediate impact with the Cowboys. Had a 100-yard game against the Washington Redskins, the one that they did win 13-3. But Jimmy Johnson has elected to go with, as you say, the big back group of Sargent and Johnston. Look for Tim Harris to move all over the field today, James. Rush the passer from a lot of different positions.
Taken out of the shotgun on 3rd and 7. Going up for Shepard and nearly intercepted that time by Tiger Green. So good defensive coverage by the Packers. 3 down and out.
Well, it's one thing that the Packers have really improved upon the last several seasons, and that is getting more pressure on the passer, thanks to Tim Green, thanks to moving him, Tim Harris, I'm sorry, moving him all over the place, finding a matchup that they want, and he's applied pressure to everybody.
Mike Saxon on the punt for the Cowboys. Had one blocked last week by the Giants. As a matter of fact, the last 2 games he's had his punts, had a punt blocked. And Jeff Query back deep for the Packers. Saxon shanks this one off the right side of his foot and barely makes it across midfield. So the Packers will start with excellent field position on only a 20-yard punt.
Well, it's just simply a bad punt right here, James. Looks like one of my short irons. All he does is shank it off the side of his foot. See, it takes an immediate right angle and out of bounds about the 50-yard line, and you give Don Mikowski and company that kind of field position, you're asking for trouble early. No pressure, plenty of time, no pressure from either side, just shanks it.
Ball at the 46 for the Pack. First series for Green Bay and Don Mikowski. Brent Fullwood, the lone back. 3 wide receiver set. This is Fullwood, and Fullwood met hard and driven back by Eugene Lockhart. And Snake Lockhart has had a Pro Bowl year. We'll talk more about that, but he did not get selected.
Well, there's no doubt. Anytime you have over 200 tackles, as Lockhart did this year, you would expect to make the Pro Bowl. He, on the defensive side of the ball, has been the real bright spot for the Cowboys, as Aikman has on the offensive side.
So a loss of 1 on that play, as Eugene Lockhart probably venting some of his frustration for not being selected as a Pro Bowler. 2nd and 11. And Jeff Cope looks to have jumped offside as a flag is dropped. Fullwood across midfield to about the 47 of Dallas. Eugene Lockhart again all over the field on the stop, but Jim Jeffcoat looked to have been offsides.
The Dallas 48-yard line.
Offsides, 77 defense, 2nd down.
Jim Jeffcoat trying to get the jump, trying to get that very quick start to get the heat on the passer.
Don Mikowski, Pro Bowler himself, leading the charge for the Packers, having just an outstanding year. Many say the best quarterback east of Joe Montana. And the offensive line, Rutgers, Moran, Bush, Halstrom, Weingrad, Ed West back as a starter, slight injury. Woodside, Fullwood, the backs, Sharp and Kemp, the wide receivers. Query and Matthews in on obvious passing situations. 2nd and 6 for Green Bay. 3 wide receiver set. Looking for Perry Kemp and throws it low and behind him. So that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Mikowski rushed that pass a little bit. You know, he had time. He's not getting the pressure that would make him throw the ball, release the ball that soon. Just get back, see it. Watch this right here. You're going to see him get back. There's no pressure from the right or the left. They've got the middle sealed off well. He releases the ball a little premature. Let Perry Kemp, number 81, come out of his move and then nail him with it.
6 defensive backs in for the Cowboys on 3rd and 6 for the Packers. Mikowski going up top. Caught by Perry Kemp. Touchdown, Green Bay. There is a penalty flag.
I think they're going to rule him down, JB. I think he was touched while he was on about the 10-yard line. No flag. I think they're going to rule him down.
So a 39-yard pass played nonetheless, and a smart move on the part of Kemp to go ahead and take it into the end zone.
Absolutely, get up and run. Here you see Mikowski. He looks things over. He's got him spread out across the field. He's got man-to-man all the way across. Elects to throw the ball out to Kemp. It looks like if they have the ball picked off, Ray Horton looks like he has a bead on it. Kemp comes up with a great catch in there in good position.
Kemp may also have a good argument. I mean, it didn't look like he was touched when he hit the ground, so the Packers will try and go at him again. To the end zone is Fullwood. It's dropped by Ken Norton. And speaking of the Cowboys defense, playing well the last 5 or 6 ball games. Danny Noonan, Dean Hamill from the Washington Redskins, Willie Broughton, and Jim Jeffcoat. Linebacking core, anchored by Eugene Lockhart, flanked by Jack Del Rio and Ken Norton, who's also playing impressively. And a secondary, Manny Hendricks, Ron Francis, safeties, Ray Horton, Vince Albritton. Bill Bates and Everson Walls will come in on the nickel and dime situations. Everson Walls, a long-time starting cornerback, backup free safety now. Mikowski, complete to Woodside, inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line.
Manny Hendricks on the stop for the Cowboys. Inside the 5.
Giants ahead of the Raiders, and of course a Giant victory today will give them the NFC East Division crown. Steelers still in the wild card hunt, leading Tampa Bay by a touchdown.
Keith Woodside on the reception there, James, and you'll see a lot of that. He needs only a few more receptions, I think 10 or so, to break the receiving record for Green Bay for running backs. You will see them split him out, both sides, also running the ball from the backfield.
3rd and 3. Mikowski dropped by Jeffcoat. Sack number 1 by Jeffcoat, 26 on the year for the Cowboys.
Well, you see Jeffcoat working on Rutgers, number 75. It looks like he gives him a bull rush, which is a real power rush right in his face. Gets him off balance, runs over Rutgers, and gets Mikowski for the sack.
So the Packers will settle for a field goal attempt. This will be a 28-yarder by Chris Jackie. And it's good. So Chris Jackie boots the Packers on the scoreboard first. They lead it here in the first quarter, 3-0. Earlier today, the Cowboys admitted at gate number 5, 10,000 less fortunate Cowboy fans. The Cowboys organization gave out 10,000 tickets through various organizations here in the Dallas area and have 10,000 extra voices here cheering on.
You bet. A Merry Christmas to some less fortunate kids.
Chris Jackie has kicked here in Texas Stadium before. Was a football player at UTEP, University of Texas at El Paso. Played SMU here, so he's familiar with the environs here.
Got a whole gang of family here today to watch him do.
And this one's going to be just a little short at about the 8-yard line by Derek Shepard. And Shepard, hard running indeed, up to about the 34-yard line. Stopped by Scott Stephen.
You know, we talked at the top, JB, about how well that Troy Aikman had developed in the second half, and he's really been behind the 8 ball, so to speak. He's had his injured receivers. Irving, his fine ride receiver, has been injured. Of course, both receivers injured. The backfield situation, they don't have that big breakaway back. They've had some nicks at the offensive line, an unproductive tight end situation. So his development has come under some tough situations.
Best 2 receivers home injured, Kelvin Martin and Michael Irving. Aikman complete to the side on the 3 wide receiver set for a 5-yard gain. That one to James Dixon. Dixon's having himself a pretty decent year, averaging 20.5 yards per catch, which is the highest since Tony Hill's 20.7 average, that occurring back in 1981. Second and 5 as you take a look at Jimmy Johnson, and the only bright spot, he says, non-player-wise for the Cowboys is that they've survived the season. Aikman decides to run it. Has the first down, pushed out of bounds by Johnny Holland at the 47-yard line. So an 8-yard scramble by Troy Aikman. gives the Cowboys a first down.
What allows Aikman to do this right here, JB, is the fact that right here the defensive end, Blaze Winter, number 68, loses containment during his pass rush. Right here, watch Winter, number 68. He has containment. He has outside. You see him get forced into the outside right there. Gives Aikman the opportunity to get outside for a nice gain. You've got to contain these good running quarterbacks like Aikman.
Snake, believe it or not, he's been the leading rusher for the past 5 weeks for the Cowboys. Needs only 70 yards more to pass the Cowboys' all-time leader, Roger Staubach.
Well, I think that tells you something when your quarterback is the second leading rusher.
Darrell Johnston pulling ahead for a 3-yard gain up near midfield. No doubt about it that Aikman and Mikowski, two of the better running quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Both those guys run for positive yardage. And, of course, Randall Cunningham is the best known of the group for his running ability. Then Mikowski, you see right there, and, of course, Troy Aikman. When your quarterback is the leading rusher, as you said, in the last 3 or 4 games, that does tell you something about your running game.
2nd and 7, 3 wide receiver set. Lone back is Darrell Johnston. Aikman complete to Burbage. And Burbage is still going to be about 4 yards shy of that first down marker. Boy, and the Packers loving this. Packer fans. Phoenix leading 7-0. And of course, if the Eagles lose, that helps tremendously the Packers because they'll be in. And that, of course, is assuming a Packer victory today.
You bet. This team has really played extremely well the last 4 or 5 games. Mikowski establishing himself as maybe one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Obviously, a Pro Bowl selection. And of course, Aikman developing extremely fast as a rookie.
3rd and 4, 4 wide receiver set. Aikman complete for the first down to Shepard inside the 30 of Green Bay. Now, the one thing the Packers said they were going to look out for coming into the game today is that they played the part of spoiler last year with a bad record of 2-12. They've got to watch out today for the Cowboys.
You have to be careful with the spoiler team. Here's a situation right here in the slot, man-to-man coverage, crossing routes on short yardage, 3rd and 3 against man-to-man. There it is, right across the middle. Aikman does a nice job of spotting, reading the man-to-man coverage, and getting the ball, of course, to Burbage for the first down.
Gain of 20 on a play. Packers on top, 3-0. 6:23 remaining in the first quarter. Dallas down to the 27 of Green Bay. Johnston, the ball carrier. Inside the 25. Gain of about 2 on the play.
First contact made by number 7.
Well, Tim Harris, as we said at the top, you're going to see him in a lot of different positions today. Here he's on a down type position, taking on the tight end. Tight end does a nice job of getting into him, screening him out off of the play. But look for Tim Harris to line up over the center, over both tackles, all over the field to get the matchup that he wants. They give him a lot of room to free legs.
One of the quieter players in the league, huh? 2nd and 8. Aikman back to pass. Complete to Burbage. And Burbage looks to have enough for the first down. He'll be close. No question about it that all the players you talk to really respect Troy Aikman and that arm and his intelligence.
His intelligence, his arm, and his toughness, too. We had the Cowboys early this year out in Phoenix, and Troy Aikman just took some terrific hits, gets up and keeps throwing the ball, and I think it's only a matter of time when that young man right there gets the experience that he needs, and, of course, when Coach Jimmy Johnson surrounds him with the talent that they need via a lot of nice draft picks that they have coming in next year. I think the Cowboys are in a situation where they can build something.
And it's enough for the first down. Referee Tom Dooley today, veteran official.
Well, you take Harris, and when you're on offense, the first thing you do is find out where is Tim Harris located. There you see Tuanay working on him. He gets some help from Nate Newton on a double team type situation, and it takes 2 or 3 guys to contain that guy right there. Impact player, 18.5 sacks this year, Pro Bowl season.
Playing on a tender ankle, right ankle. And 1st and 10, Johnston hit hard. A gain of 1. Did he lose the ball? Packers trying to claim it, but it looks like he still has it. Good penetration that time by the Packer defense.
Well, Johnson's going to hit up in there, the big back type that Jimmy Johnson likes. Here you see the end of the play, and looks like the ball is out, or they ruled his knee is down by the time that the ball comes out. And, of course, Tim Harris is not going to agree with that.
Boy, what a wicked hit applied by Chuck Cecil.
Chuck Cecil coming back from hamstring injury early in the year, coming in and playing tough safety.
2nd and 10. Johnston. Good gain on the play down to the 10-yard line, a 6-yard run. And Snake, this is the area of the field where the Packer defense has a little trouble.
They have had problems down inside the 20-yard line, keeping the opposing team out of the end zone. Here you're going to see a situation. They run the Washington tray. There you see the right tackle. You're going to see Kevin Gogan is going to pull, lead Johnson up into the hole. If they can get some running game going to take a little pressure off of Troy Aikman, they can make it a long day for the Pack.
Good job by the left side of that line. 3rd and 4. Kirby, the move man. Aikman this time has it batted down and comes back to Aikman. So good alert play by the Packers defense. Brings up a 4th down.
Well, the pressure you get on a quarterback that causes you the most problems is pressure in the middle. There you see Noble, number 91, getting pressure in the middle. You're going to see 79, Bob Nelson, gets his hand up. That pressure in the middle does not allow Troy Aikman to step up where he can see things. You can't see, you're in problems.
Actually, the ball hit the back of his own man. Luis Zendejas on to attempt a 41-yard field goal. And it's good. So Luis Zendejas boots the Cowboys into a 3-3 tie with 2:48 remaining in the first. It's been the battle of the field goal kickers thus far in the first quarter. Green Bay and Dallas all tied up at 3 apiece, and Lindy Infante, as you take a look at him, many of the players indicated it took a while to get adjusted to his system, but one thing not taking long to get adjusted to, his communication style. Certainly a Coach of the Year candidate, as we mentioned at the top of the show, but the players really like him, and Snake, a lot of that is because he does communicate with them.
I think the open line of communication is what they really like, JB. He has established an executive committee of several different players that go in and meet with him on a weekly basis and air their differences and say what they need in the locker room and what the players are feeling. And I think that open line of communication is one thing that contributes to the success of this team.
Certainly that open line of communication was very important the first year when he took over, and I'm sure you had some worried veterans.
You bet. They came in, and he has cleared the air with that executive committee, with being able to communicate with the players. Then, of course, an extra year with this complicated system of his has also helped.
Vince Workman across the 20 up to about the 25-yard line for the Packers, and Don McCalskey getting last-minute instructions from Lindy Infante, heading out for the next series for the Packers. Jimmy Johnson certainly just a little different from all that we get from the players and from what we've been reading. Some players very, very comfortable with him. Others, particularly a lot of veterans, not so comfortable.
Seems to be that the young players see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they like him. And I think that they think that being here as a young player, that is something to grow with. On the other hand, the veteran players, guys like Everson Walls, are a little bit in the dark about their future with this ball club.
Indeed, today's game may be the finale for a number of the veterans. Ed Jones may be one of them. Everson Walls, Tom Rafferty. Mikowski has the ball knocked loose. And it looks like the Packers will come up lucky and get the ball back as it goes out of bounds. So Mikowski, who so many times has escaped trouble because of his quick feet, that time was caught.
Well, the ball is bounced right for the Don Mikowski and the Packers all year long, and no exception here. The ball bounces out of bounds for them. They retain possession. This young man has fumbled an awful lot. Here's one of the reasons why. He is such a terrific athlete that he runs around with the ball. He has the ball out in an area where he can release the ball very quickly and throw the ball. As a result,
it went
he
out
gets
of bounds forward. It comes back, belongs to the offensive team at the spot of the fumble. 2nd down.
Well, that being the case, it's a loss of 7 on the play. Jim Jeffcoat really has received a lot of praise from Dave Wannstedt, the defensive coordinator, Jeff Coat, Ken Norton, and of course Eugene Lockhart. That defense is really starting to rise.
I think anytime you get a group of people together, the more that they play together, the more that they're in there, the better they're going to get. I think that's going to be the case with this young Cowboy team.
2nd and 17, 3 wide receiver setting for the Packers. Mikowski waited to the last possible moment and took a wicked hit from Bill Bates.
Well, one of the more popular players here in Dallas is Bill Bates. He established himself as a really tough player on special teams a few years ago. Comes in passing type situations, plays in the middle of the field as safety. Here you see Mikowski moving around, using that athletic ability to buy some time, but you can't give Bill Bates that much time once he sets his sights on you.
And Mikowski really didn't take as wicked a hit as he could have. He slightly turned that shoulder to try to lessen some of that impact, but Mikowski, one tough cookie. 3rd and 15. 1:19 remaining in the first quarter. And Mikowski throws this one away in the direction of Sterling Sharp. But the Dallas defense does a good job coverage-wise, and the Packers will have to punt it away. Isaac Hope was providing the coverage.
You're right, James. Very good job in the secondary. Call that a coverage deal right there. No place to go with the ball. Mikowski wisely throws the ball away.
Randall Cunningham with a 14-yard run, tying things up against Phoenix, and the Giants and Raiders knotted up at 7 apiece. Don Bracken on to punt for the Packers. Derek Shepard back deep for the Cowboys. And Bracken does a good job of pushing Shepard back to the 35. Flag on the play. And Shepard fights his way up to about the 49-yard line, tackled by Mark Murphy, the veteran, for the Packers. But there is a flag on the play. And this will go against the Cowboys. It was a 45-yard punt by Bracken and a 13-yard return by Shepard.
We have an illegal block in the back by number 38 on the receiving team during the run back. First down.
Well, here it is. You're going to see it right here, JB. It's going to be on Francis right there on number 28, on pitch number 28 for Green Bay, blocking him from behind.
Chilly afternoon here in Dallas, Texas. Low-scoring ball game, 3-3. 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And Snake, no matter how bad things have gone for Dallas, it really is important for job security to play well.
No doubt. You see Jim Jeffcoat sitting there with Randy Noonan, the defensive people, Broughton, number 79, sitting there. And Jeffcoat has come on really strong in the second half of the season. Only 1 sack, I think, the first 8 games. And in the last 6 or 7 games, he has 7 or 8 sacks, for a total of about 8 sacks. And looks like he may be one of the veteran players that's going to establish himself here with the Cowboys. Their defense has played well in the second half, especially the last 5 or 6 games. They've shut people down as far as the run is concerned, and most defensive coordinators say that's what you have to do first, stop the run.
And Tom Dooley looks to be doing a little housekeeping down there as they stop the action before the play gets started. There's Leo Miles talking to Tom Dooley, head linesman.
The spot of the flag was on the 44-yard line. 10-yard penalty.
Well, okay, Tom.
We appreciate them for letting us in. So the ball's moved up 2 yards in the line of scrimmage, from the line of scrimmage, and this is first down, Johnston. And Johnston really running hard up to about the 39-yard line, a 5-yard gain. Coming to you from Texas Stadium here in Irving, Texas. James Brown along with Ken Stabler. First quarter action. Tie ball game at 3-3, and the Packers certainly have to get things established and started quickly as opposed to giving Dallas any kind of life.
That's usually the case with teams that are down. A 1-14 team, you give them life and you let them think that they can win, then you've got your hands full. You've got to go out and take care of business initially and set the table.
On 2nd and 5, Aikman back to pass. Throws it complete for the first down across midfield. And Dallas on the march, Steve Folsom. And Jimmy Johnson had been a little down about his tight ends, and Folsom, of course, trying to show him that he can do the job. And the Cowboys on the march. That's the end of the first quarter. Score is tied at 3 apiece. We'll be back in just a moment. Beginning of the second quarter here, all tied at 3 apiece, and if any team doesn't need the heating element there, it certainly is the Packers.
Well, the Packers this week, their practice schedule was altered some. Practiced inside. It was 57 below. The old factor of 67, 57 below this week in Green Bay. And if anybody is used to the elements, if there's such a thing as being accustomed to extremely cold weather, of course, it would be Green Bay.
Packers practice indoors all week, but they had the doors open. Roderick Sargent on first down. Running ahead for 2 yards. We'll bring up a 2nd and 8.
Probably for running purposes now, James, they have brought in a second tight end. They've got Keith Jennings, number 84, is now in. A lot of times ball clubs offensively will use 2 tight ends to help secure the corners, to keep a guy like Scott Stephen or a guy like Tim Harris from getting a free run at your quarterback.
Jimmy Johnson certainly has shown a penchant for the big back. Certainly that is the case with Darrell Johnston, and Roderick Sargent, although not very tall at only 5'11", still 220 pounds. 2nd and 8. Jennings in the slot. Play action. Aikman trying to buy more time, and it's complete to Sargent. And Roderick Sargent down to about the 41-yard line, tackled by Johnny Holland, a gain of 6 on the play.
James, a real nice job of Green Bay giving Aikman a double zone type look. 2 deep help. Watch these safeties run to the outside, zone here, forces Aikman to dump the ball off over in the flat area, a double zone. See those safeties running deep? The 2 corners play the short zone, forces Aikman right now, once he gets the time by scrambling, to have to dump the ball off to Sargent right there. Nice job of coverage with a double zone by Green Bay.
Brings up a 3rd and 2 situation. Ron Pitts and Tiger Green, the extra DBs, in for the Packers. Aikman throws it complete for the first down to Cornell Burbage. So Cornell Burbage comes up with the sure hands. And the Cowboys on the march. One of the reasons that Roderick Sargent is in play now is that Darrell Johnston left the game just a few plays ago with a hyperextended knee. He's in the locker room being examined, and we'll pass along the report to you as soon as we get it from the field.
Green Bay is giving Dallas a steady diet of zones. They're going to make Aikman be patient. They're going to make him take those little short things, as he did then to Burbage, as he dumped off to Sargent. They're going to make him be very, very patient.
Part of the air of suspicion around the Cowboys, as you take a look at Jimmy Johnson, players like Paul Palmer, an explosive back who has done relatively well here, needed 54 more yards, Kenny, to reach the 500-yard mark, and he's inactive today. But that accomplishment would have meant something to him.
Well, it would have meant something to him. He had a clause in his contract that says with 500 yards, he gets an incentive bonus. He gets a certain amount of money based on 500 yards. All of a sudden, he's here and he's inactive, and raises his eyebrows, of course.
Troy Aikman, very accurate thus far, 8 of 9. Throws on the run complete to Keith Jennings. Keith Jennings, the brother of Stanford Jennings, of course, who plays for the Cincinnati Bengals, rookie out of Clemson.
Well, Stanford Jennings come in as a second tight end, and here Winter loses containment. There's the fake, makes Winter come inside. Number 68 of the pack comes inside, lets Aikman get outside, and then, of course, there's Keith Jennings on the outside for the reception.
2nd and 7. Sargent alone back. Handoff to Sargent. And Sargent running hard down to the 30-yard line. 6-yard run by Broderick Sargent, and getting some good blocking up front by Crawford Kerr and Mark Stepnoski.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited.
3rd and 1 for the Cowboys. And Nelson, Bob Nelson, drawn off sides and made contact. So the Cowboys will certainly benefit from that.
Encroachment, 79, defense, first down.
Boy, you talk about encroachment. Take a look at Bob Nelson.
Well, he's up there really close, and that's to try to get to center, try to hold up the center, try to get some penetration, and in trying to do that, of course, they get Bob Nelson to jump.
And the guy he's up nudging close, of course, is Mark Stepnoski, who was a guard in college and has been moved over to the center position. Says the toughest thing about playing center is learning the snap for the shotgun formation. Aikman throwing on first down, complete to Keith Jennings. And Jennings down to the 11-yard line of the Packers.
Doing a nice job of getting rid of the ball, not giving him an opportunity to get pressure on him, not giving him an opportunity for Tim Harris to get involved in the game and apply the pressure. Looks like the game plan is very, very similar to this. There's number 84 on the right of your screen. Aikman gives a little fake to hold the linebackers and slips Keith Jennings right in behind. Looks like a good, quick release type game plan passing-wise for the Cowboys. Stepnoski, the center, has stepped in, done a good job. His responsibility, control the middle. Don't let penetration by the nose tackle.
And another first down. This is 1st and 10 from the 11. Intercepted by Johnny Holland. And Troy Aikman trips him up at about the 32-yard line. So a Dallas drive is thwarted by the excellent defensive play of Johnny Holland, 3rd-year player out of Texas A&M.
Well, Troy Aikman had 10 in a row prior to that throw right there, JB. 10 straight completions. Tries to force one in on a quick slant-type pass right in there. Holland sitting in the middle right there. Reads it, drops back. Looks like Aikman never sees him. Thinks he has something working in there to Jennings. Holland, right place, right time for the turnover.
And the man who's nicknamed Mr. Anywhere, Mr. Anywhere, was indeed there.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Lite. America's favorite light beer brings you the Miller Lite All-Star Super Bowl game. Gold Master Card, the best gold card to master the moment. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
I think that's a pretty impressive looking snowman.
A pretty nice looking snowman right there. And a big one too.
And a pretty impressive play by that young man there.
It was a nice Christmas gift for Johnny Holland. You bet. The 2nd interception since 1987 when he had 2, and comes up with his first one. Nice Christmas gift.
1st and 10 for the Pack. And Mikowski keeps the ball on the ground. 3-yard gain that time. Woodside stopped by Danny Noonan. And don't forget, coming up next, doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. It'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the San Francisco 49ers. There was some question as to whether or not Joe Montana was going to start. He is, in fact, going to play.
Well, I think it's important for Joe Montana to play. Even though he's been nicked up, it's important for him to keep his timing and his rhythm and to stay sharp going into the playoffs.
2nd and 7. This is Perry Kemp. Has the first down. And Perry Kemp with a good run across the 45 to the 47-yard line, a 12-yard run.
Well, they do a nice job of misdirection, and they get their guard out in front. They get 57. You're going to see 57, the left guard, The right guard, as you look at it from the back of the defense, he pulls. 57 Moran is going to lead Perry Kemp around to the outside, and good misdirection. When you get a team that has a good set of linebackers like Norton and like Lockhart, those guys that fly to the ball at misdirection, good call.
Part of that defensive platoon system by the Cowboys, David Howard on the tackle, and Jesse Solomon is in there. Players, of course, who came from the Minnesota Vikings. Play action by Mikowski on first down, decides to run it. And I see he's learned a little something from you, Snake, in our last conversation. He's learned how to at least slide. Maybe not picture perfect.
Well, I think after you get popped a few times by these guys, you figure out that it's a little bit smarter to slide and not take that abuse and not take the hits and the punishment that they deliver. And you're going to see right here, he does that. They play fake to try to hold things. Good job of the Cowboys secondary with the coverage situation, and then Mikowski scrambling for whatever he can get and then the slide.
Specifically, 5-yard run that time. Mikowski missed Wednesday in practice, just generally banged up. Tough game against the Bears. 2nd and 5. Mikowski complete to Woodside, and Woodside met immediately by Everson Walls. Now, Walls, of course, is playing backup free safety. He's in there. We talked with him, and he's really concerned about what the future holds for him.
Well, he is concerned. You know, they made the change from corner, and you get a guy that's been a 9-year Cowboy that is very, very comfortable on the outside at that corner position, and all of a sudden they say, you're now going to be a safety, and he really hasn't reacted very favorably to that situation and really questions his future with the Cowboys.
4-time Pro Bowler, as you've mentioned, very comfortable over on that side. 3rd and 3. And the ball is lost. Mikowski didn't get a good handle on it. We'll await the official signal as to who recovered.
The JB, they play out. Watch these safeties. Safety here. There's Walls, 24, Albright. Watch this. Safety blitz to try to get some pressure. Here they come. Try to get some pressure on Mikowski. Looks like he takes his eye off the snap, fumbles the snap, and then there's a mad scramble for it, and the Packers retain possession.
Packers did come back up with it, but an opportunity botched. Don Bracken on to punt for the Packers. And Boots Shepard back to the 6-yard line. And Shepard gets up to about the 11. And Shepard is holding that right ankle of his, a 45-yard punt, 7-yard return. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, with a plethora of possibilities still, I guess, on the menu for a number of teams, best way to synopsize here, San Francisco, of course, has the home field advantage. The Giants, if they win today, they'll clinch the East. Philadelphia, the Rams, Minnesota, they're in if they win today, and Green Bay will be eliminated with a loss. Green Bay recognizes that it needs a little help, and that help has to come from either the Rams or Philadelphia or Minnesota, of course, losing on tomorrow night.
And you know, James, with everything riding on this game, it means so much to Green Bay. And you watch them play out there right now, and it looks like they're a little flat. They don't seem to be playing with the type of emotion that it takes in a game like this with as much riding on the game.
And that's a little surprising because, again, we know they must win. Aikman, play action. Incomplete intended receiver was James Dixon. Philadelphia and Phoenix knotted up at 7. Raiders, your old team, ahead of the Giants 14-7. Art Shell, of course, needs a lot of help to get his team in, but the troops are playing well thus far.
Goes in and this changes the attitude of a group of players, same players that they've had all along, and changes the attitude with a group of players, and as a result, he's got them in a situation where they can possibly make the playoffs, but as you say, they need some help.
Detroit and Atlanta, nothing to gain playoff-wise, but Detroit certainly is playing extremely well down the stretch. 2nd and 10 for the Cowboys. Cornell Burbage in motion. Handoff to Broderick Sargent. And Sargent running hard up near the 20-yard line. He'll be about 2.5 yards shy of the first down marker. Gain of about 8. Stopped by Chuck Cecil.
James, they're giving them a lot of that old Washington Redskins counter tray type thing, a little misdirection to try to get those linebackers to step one way and then pull the tackle away from the play. In that particular case there, Mark Tuanay, number 71, pulled. A lot of misdirection from the Cowboys today.
And the report from the field, Derek Shepard did suffer a sprained right ankle, and we're not certain whether he'll be back in that. 3rd and 2 for the Cowboys. Ball at the 20. Cowboys keep it on the ground for the first down. Darrell Johnston, who left in the first quarter with a slightly extended, hyperextended knee, comes back running strong.
Well, you're going to see Tim Harris lined up on the outside over here. They're going to go this side. Nice job by left guard Nate Newton, number 61, left tackle Tuanay, 71. He splits the block, gets in the secondary before Mark Murphy can bring him down.
Mike Weddington comes on for the Green Bay defense, replacing Johnny Holland. Darrell Johnston, the lone back for the Packers. 3 make that the Cowboys. 3 wide receiver set. Now, Blaze Winter is going to complain that he was drawn offsides. We'll see.
False start, 68 offense, first down.
That's Crawford Kerr.
Offensive line, along with every other position with the Dallas Cowboys, being evaluated very closely. You get a commodity like Troy Aikman, you're going to have to take good care of him. This offensive line has been shook up all year long with some injuries, situation like that. They're taking a good close look.
On 1st and 15, Aikman going up top, looking for James Dixon, overthrows him. As the clock continues to run, 5:07 remaining in the first half.
Well, Troy Aikman's been throwing the ball a little early most all afternoon or most of the first part of the game, and here's the reason why. He's getting pressure all the time. There you see number 59, John Anderson, coming on a linebacker-type blitz and forcing him to get rid of the ball much sooner than he would like. That's been the case all year long with Troy Aikman, having to rush everything.
2nd and 15. Packers with Tiger Green and Ron Pitsen, extra DBs. Aikman keeps it on the ground. Johnston. And Darrell Johnston runs hard across the 30 to about the 32. It's going to be about 5 yards shy of the first down marker.
Again, it's that misdirection running game that they've been using today, and it's pulling a guard, misdirection, or stutter step one way by Johnston, Darrell Johnston, the fullback right here from Syracuse. He steps one way, allows the guard, number 68, Crawford Kerr, to get out in front. It's working well against the Pack today. Darrell Johnston already 8 carries, 35 yards.
3rd and 6. 4 wideouts in for the Cowboys. Aikman pumps. Complete to Burbage, but Burbage is going to be shy of the first down marker. Good job by the veteran Mark Murphy, 8-year vet from West Liberty. So that'll bring on Mike Saxon to punt. And his troubles punting in cold weather have been well documented. Mentioned the last 2 games he's had punts blocked.
Well, every time he punts, we need to turn the heat up so he can get off a good one. Shanked one last time. Let's see what we get here.
Jeff Query back for the Packers. And Query takes it across the 20 to about the 22, a 47-yard punt, 5-yard return, stopped by Randy Shannon. Packers will have it when we come back. Moving game, but a low-scoring one, 3-3, and I'm sure Santa Claus will join us tomorrow on CBS Sports. A holiday celebration continuing at 2:30 Eastern Time with the Christmas Day Winter Sports Special. The World Junior Figure Skating Championships feature the USA's Olympic hopefuls and superstars of tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern Time. Then the NBA on CBS, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks. That'll be coming your way at 3:30 Eastern Time. Two tight end formation. Hands off to Brent Forwood, and Forwood running hard up to about the 27-yard line. 5-yard run by Forward. The Snake, not unusual at this time of the year for so many guys to be nicked up, and of course the Packers have had their fair share.
Well, that tells it right there. Fontenot, Tim Harris hasn't practiced in 3 weeks, and of course, as you documented earlier, Don Mikowski is just plain beat up from ribs to the bruises to a knee. Scott Stephen, Ed West has an ankle problem, and by the way, Ed West is an alternate to the Pro Bowl this year.
2nd and 5. Mikowski. This time throws it, and it's nearly intercepted. Dean Hamill, the man nicknamed the Tasmanian Devil, who came to the Cowboys in a trade with the Redskins, and the coaching staff is really impressed with his play.
Well, they alternated defensive ends. They've alternated some with Hamill and trying to find a combination out of those 4 guys right there that they can get some pressure with. They haven't really been pleased with the amount of pressure that their down people, their down linemen, have been getting this year.
Talking with Hamill coming into the stadium here, he said he's really happy here in Dallas. It took him a moment to make the adjustment, but he's happy here and he thinks positive about the future. 3rd and 5. Mikowski for Perry Kemp, complete. And it looks to have enough for the first down. So Mikowski to Perry Kemp, 6-yard pass play, first down Packers.
Just a little short, sweet against the man-to-man coverage. Just a little slant-type route in there on your outside right here. Off the line about 5 yards. Quick slant. Very good against the man-to-man type coverage. It gives your quarterback an opportunity to get rid of the ball before the pressure gets there. And as a result, first down.
2:16 remaining in the first half. Ball game tied at 3 apiece. Philadelphia moved ahead of Phoenix 14-7. Giants and Raiders all tied at 14 apiece. Mikowski to Kemp again. This time it's incomplete. Isaac Hope literally draping him like a cheap suit.
Cowboys giving him a steady diet of that very, very tight coverage underneath. And underneath with deep help by their safeties. The guys underneath will run with them wherever they go because they know that they have help in the secondary from their safety type position. I think eventually Green Bay is going to have to challenge that Dallas zone and throw the ball down the field.
Dan Jiggins is fond of talking about tight coverage like that as tight as a mosquito's wrestling jacket.
Ooh, that's tight.
That's tight. You'll walk funny like that. On 2nd and 10. Mikowski complete to Sterling Sharp, his first reception of the afternoon, and we're at the 2-minute warning as Sterling Sharp takes in his first pass, a 9-yard pass play. 3-all here in Dallas. With Bud Carson, head coach of the AFC Central Division champion Cleveland Browns. And Snake, we watched that game last night against Houston. What did you think about his play calling down the stretch?
I think the fact that they get Kevin Mack back gives them the opportunity to control the ball on the ground as they did late in the game. And you bring in Eric Metcalf. I think that's a good combination of powerful inside running, good outside running with Metcalf, and then of course Newsom and Slaughter and Cozart. Browns can be very, very tough in the playoffs. Count on it.
On 3rd and 1, Brent Fullwood got the call, and that should be enough for the first down. Indeed it is, as the clock continues to wind down. 1:41 remaining in the first half.
Mikowski's getting him into the hurry-up 2-minute offense.
Mikowski throwing in the direction of Sterling Sharp. He was a closer receiver. Jeff Query was back deep. Good pressure applied that time by Willie Broughton and Dean Hamill. And as I mentioned a few seconds ago, the Eagles move ahead of Phoenix. Not good news for Packer fans. Raiders and Giants all tied up at 14 apiece. And Rams nursing only a 3-point lead. 2nd and 10. Pack at its own 45. 1:30 remaining in the first half. Mikowski tries to take off and run and is wrapped up by Willie Broughton.
JB, I think you really have to be pleased if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan with what you see in the secondary and the amount of pressure that they're getting on Mikowski. Mikowski has plenty of time initially looking downfield. Good job of coverage in the secondary. Nowhere to go, and as a result, they get the sack.
Loss of 4 on the play, and Willie Broughton, who last year was selling cars, played for Jimmy Johnson in Miami. I'm sure Johnson glad to have him back. 3rd and 14. Mikowski drills it. Looks to be complete to Aubrey Matthews for the first down. Inside the 45 at the 44. And a timeout called by Green Bay. 15-yard pass play. Mikowski hoping to see if he can get them in position to put some more points on the board.
Cowboys giving the Green Bay Packers a double zone. You're going to see the cornerback right here, zone off, deep help by the safeties. The vulnerable area is right here in the middle of that area. You're going to see Mikowski right here, number 88. You're going to see Aubrey Matthews find that area right in the middle of the field right there. Mikowski gives him time to sit down, throws the ball away from the defender, which was a nice throw on Mikowski's part for the first down.
Lindy Infante's squad has 2 timeouts remaining here. Dallas, full complement. Four wide receivers set on first down. And Mikowski going up top for Sterling Sharp. Snake, an absolutely unbelievable catch. Sterling Sharp over the shoulders, and they say he was inbounds when he caught it.
He's done it all year long, and he really hasn't made his presence felt early in the ball game. It's always been in the second half, but here they get the time. They bring safety. Mikowski reads it, knowing he's got man-to-man coverage, and throws the ball perfectly over the right shoulder. That's where that ball, over the left shoulder, to the outside, away from the defender, and just a great job of adjusting to the ball, finding the ball, and making the catch by Sterling Sharp.
A 29-yard pass play. And I guess they're reviewing this one upstairs, but Bill Parkinson upstairs reviewing this one as you take a look at Jimmy Johnson.
Well, we see right here, we're going to see him make the catch. There's the catch right there. Right foot in, left foot in.
Yeah,
no question.
Absolutely.
Nice reception.
It's interesting because Sterling Sharp, certainly a very vocal one himself, always is talking to Coach Infante on the sidelines.
Well, Coach Infante says if you ever run into a receiver who didn't think he could catch the ball on every play, said Sterling Sharp stays in his ear the entire game of, hey, Coach, I can beat this guy. Hey, Coach, I can run by this guy. Coach, I own this guy. And, of course, Lindy Infante just lets it go in one ear and out the other.
After further review, the play will stand as called. It's first down.
Well, I'm sure many of the Green Bay fans know that Bill Parkinson is the same replay official that gave Don Mikowski that controversial touchdown, saying he did not cross the line in that first Chicago matchup.
Chicago Bear game, which was a good call, as was this one.
Mikowski on first down. Throws it complete to the sidelines to Perry Kemp. Well, no, they say he was out of bounds.
Well, I think the receiver, Perry Kemp, should realize where he is on the field and give him the opportunity. See how wide he is? Maybe sit down a little quicker. Leave yourself some room to the outside. There you see he catches the ball and his left foot is out. Good call.
Official all on top of that play. It's really amazing, though, as you talk about Sterling Sharp. He really does talk to anybody on the field, telling Coach Infante, hey, I own this guy.
Enjoys himself. Has a good time out there.
Says he's never tight. 2nd and 10. 4 wideouts. Mikowski complete to Query. Touchdown, Green Bay. May not have heard much about Jeff Query before the season, but the rookie from Milliken has come through with some big plays this year.
Good speed. Well, that's what happens when you play man-to-man, when you bring some safeties, as they did down there that time. They brought those 2 inside safeties, and they showed that once earlier. You bring those people, you have to play man-to-man. Tough situation when you've got Query and Sterling Sharp and Perry Kemp. Puts a lot of pressure on your backs, defensive backs.
And Chris Jackie, perfect on 41 point afters. And Green Bay moves out in front by the score of 10-3. And Green Bay a little slow in starting in the first half, but not really unusual for this squad.
You see right here, they're going to bring this safety. Safety's going to come. There's a safety right here. It's going to come. When you do that, you're man-to-man out here with all these people. Puts a lot of pressure. Mikowski reads it, finds Query man-to-man hooked up on the outside. They get almost a pick-type situation out of Sterling Sharp. Nice throw by Mikowski. Good reception by Query for the touchdown. Millikan College, about 1,600 or so students there, and that particular one right there is a good receiver out of that 1,650.
Where we said the first packed house at Lambeau Field that he played for equaled the number of people that had watched him play throughout his career at Millikan.
Well, that's a nice Christmas present for that young man, too. Touchdown in the final game. Final game regular season.
I'm sure the Packers are playing minus the information of knowing what's happening with Philadelphia and L.A. right now. Most important is to take care of their own business. Chris Jackie gets this one off. It'll be short. Taken at about the 22-yard line by Scott Ankrum. And he's hit immediately and dropped. So the Cowboys, with 28 seconds remaining in the first half, will take over, try to get in field goal range at least. And don't forget, it's doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. Coming up next will be the San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bears. The Bears will be attempting to avoid their first 10-loss season since 1981.
Of course, San Francisco tuning up for playoffs. They'll have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Aikman back to pass. Complete to Junior Totolatossi at the 30.
Well, I think if they have a timeout, what they ought to do is spend the timeout right here, design something. There it goes right there. There's the timeout. Spend the timeout, go off the sidelines, come up with something that might help you get the ball down there. Well, there you see Jerry Rome, quarterback coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Very well-respected coach around the league. Was at Seattle. Got some very good years out of Dave Craig. And Troy Aikman really enjoys having that man around right there. A real good sense of security. He knows offense. And Jerry Rome's name has been brought up for a couple of coaching jobs, mainly the one with the New York Jets.
Of course, Jerry Rome did a great job in Washington with the quarterbacking core there. Troy Aikman back to pass. Going up top, looking for Keith Jennings, and it's intercepted by Ken Stills. So the Packers will close out the first half. 2 seconds remaining on the clock as Ken Stills comes up with his third interception of the year.
Well, that's a tough situation there. Very, very deep. Very, very deep zone. Everybody knows what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to split some seam somewhere, right or left. There's the seam they try to hit. But when you've got your safeties playing that very, very deep prevent, that's tough.
Green Bay with 23 interceptions on the year as a team.
Yeah, I think we'll see the very same thing here. They've got their three wide guys to the right. JB, I look for them just to put it up, hope for an interference call, or hope for a miraculous catch.
Good call?
Yeah, I think it's the only thing you have left.
And Mikowski sacked. And that will close out the first half. Jim Jeffcoat, the man doing that, number 2 on the afternoon for him. That's the end of the first half with the score, Green Bay 10, Dallas 3. Brent and Irv will join you at halftime in just a moment. Halftime here in Dallas, Green Bay leading it 10-3. Dallas has actually outrushed Green Bay almost by a 2-1 margin. And Snake, how would you size up the quarterback comparison, though?
Well, I think that Dallas has done a good job of maintaining control of the ball and keeping the ball away from Don Mikowski. The turnover really hurt Dallas down. They got down inside the 10-15 yard line. Aikman threw the interception. They go in there, then we basically got a tie game.
Well, the Cowboys haven't had too much to cheer about, but they're going to stay in the Christmas spirit here, festive occasion.
What do you call that?
Wow. I have no idea. Rocking Cowboy, Rocking Santa.
There's the Longhorns.
Everything done Texas style.
You
Big.
betcha, big.
Luis Zendejas will be kicking off for the Dallas Cowboys. Still yet to release the infamous tape, the conversation he had with Al Roberts of the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff, talking about the bounty that was placed on his head by Buddy Ryan. From the 2. And Carl Bland across the 20 up to the 31-yard line. So Carl Bland with a 29-yard return, stopped by Scott Ankrum. And certainly no bounty on Luis Zendejas today.
No bounty on Zendejas, just turn him loose. And it doesn't look like he's real enthusiastic about getting down there and really hitting anybody. Just kind of stay out in front, make sure they don't break a long one, then go back over there and put on the warm coats.
Head to the sideline.
You bet. Keep the foot warm.
1st and 10 for the Pack. Ball at the 30. Forwood and Woodside, the backs. Forwood. Across the 35. Up to about the 39-yard line. Is going to be about a half a yard shy of the first down. The 9.5-yard run by Brent Forwood.
Well, you're going to see Hallstrom, the guard, right here is going to pull. It's that misdirection. It's that counter trace up that Washington made famous. There's Hallstrom out front. Fullwood, number 25, going around Jeff Coat, number 77. Falls right in behind Hallstrom for a nice gain.
Snake, as you recall, Lindy Infante said he needed Fullwood to be a 1,000-yard rusher for him. He's about 800-plus yards this year.
800-plus yards, but they're going to be a situation where they throw the ball to their outside people. They're not a team, an offensive team that's dominated by their running game. They're a passing team.
2nd and 1, complete to Perry Kemp for the first down. And Manny Hendricks on the stop. Well, we were talking about Brent Fullwood. Started off like gangbusters the first 5 games of the year, and then, as he has in the past, been slowed by those nags and nicks.
Yeah, he gets a little nick, you know, that really slows him down. Some players are able to cope with that sort of thing, others not. Pain thresholds are different in everybody, and of course the little nick with Brent Fullwood gives him problems. He needs to be completely 100% healthy in order for him to be the most effective.
During your days with the Raiders, pain was something you guys seemingly loved.
You knew that you were in the middle of pain before you put on a uniform most of the time. Headache or something.
On first down, Perry Kemp actually slipped the line of scrimmage. Didn't get to the pass in time. Nobody hates that more than Don Mikowski, who had to take a hit as a result. Third period has not been favorable for the Cowboys this season. Jimmy Johnson, boy, he's got a list of things to go over as he gets prepared for next year.
We talked to him this week, and he said the thing that bothered him the most about the NFL was the fact he didn't have the time that it takes to help develop the younger players. You've got to go out and deal with the 22 or 28 that's going to do most of the playing. No time to help develop the young guys.
On 2nd and 10, Mikowski throws it complete. Eugene Lockhart and Ken Norton trying to rough up Keith Woodside. 4-yard pass play. Well, Johnson also said that he's going to take a note from Lindy Infante and really delve heavily into the Plan B market this year.
You get the experienced players, the unprotected players from other ball clubs to filter in with your young ball players to try to come up with a nucleus, a solid group of players. As Lindy Infante said, I think Plan B players will help you. I think they'll help you develop a very competitive team, but I don't think that Plan B players will give you the player that it takes to get over the hump, so to speak, the championship type teams.
3rd and 6. Mikowski waiting for Kemp to run his route, and he stops, so Mikowski has to scramble. Kemp comes back and catches it near the first down marker. Looks like he's going to be some inches shy, but just a great second effort on the part of Kemp. Mikowski looking him all the way.
Great effort on Mikowski's part to find the time to do this, and then watch the catch. Here's the athletic ability that buys the time to throw the ball, but then watch this catch. He goes up, makes a nice catch, comes down, has the presence of mind to know where the sideline is. Very nice play by Perry Kemp.
Leo Miles, the referee, right on top of the play. gains shy of that first down. Bracken punts it away to the Cowboys. And the ball will be marked inside the 10-yard line, near the 7. Nice punt by Don Bracken. One of the names that Lindy Infante is known by as being a very creative type, and certainly he was one of the more aggressive ones with respect to the Plan B free agent route. Brought 20 Plan B free agents to camp, kept 9. Some of that graphic there, Green Bay and Kansas City played heavily with it. They did well with it. Chicago and Cincinnati may do wise to play with the Plan B market this year. And Snake, Lindy Infante says, hey, it won't necessarily make you a championship caliber team, but it will help.
It will help. What it will do, it will help you find people that you need at various positions. What you need is, if you need a guard, you find an unprotected guard that already has some experience, already comes from a situation where he has developed some skills, takes him out of a situation, a player out of a situation where he's unwanted, puts him into a situation where he is wanted, and most of the time that motivates the player to say, hey, I'm going to go play very well for this team, show that team that they should have protected me, and I think it'll help the Cowboys situation.
As a matter of fact, Blair Bush is the only starter for the Packers, Plan B free agent. But Lindy Infante says it makes the team much more competitive and certainly gives them depth. Second and 9. Aikman deep in his own territory. Complete to Burbage. Up to the 16-yard line. It's going to be shy by about 2.5 yards of the first down marker.
Cowboys have done a good job with their blocking combinations. The blocking combinations are by formation, one or the other, of keeping number 97, Tim Harris, out of the game. Tim Harris' name has not been called that often today. Nice job by Kevin Gogan of forcing Harris behind Aikman, letting Aikman step up. They're controlling Harris very well this afternoon. Harris leading the NFL in sacks with 18.5, 3 shy of the NFL record 22 by Mark Ashley. And it looked like Gogan on the right side of that Cowboy offensive line moved a little too quickly. Flag on the play.
False start, 68 offense, 3rd down.
And they're actually going to give it to Crawford Kerr. He had a little help, though, with Gogan. As a matter of fact, because Tim Harris was leading in sacks in NFL at the time, he thinks that's the reason why he was nominated, selected finally for the Pro Bowl.
Well, he's had that reputation of being a player that likes to talk and taunt, so to speak, some other players, and thinks that that's been a reason he hasn't been voted to the Pro Bowl in the past. But being the leader in sacks, he thinks is the reason why he was selected this year.
3rd and 6. Takes a wicked hit as he goes down. Johnny Holland in on the tackle. An 8-yard run, and that should be enough. More than enough for the first down.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, he's been the leading rusher on the team the last 5 games and has a couple of hundred, almost 300 yards rushing this year. I think most of them have come, or almost all of them have come, because of this right here. Running for his life. A lot of pressure, creates scrambling situations where he runs. I think he needs to learn to stay away from some of the abuse, some of the punishment. Get down, protect yourself.
Johnny Holland on the tackle, but Chuck Cecil nailed him wickedly, giving a little help. 1st and 10. Aikman throws behind Steve Folsom, incomplete. 9:24 remaining in the 3rd. Packers on top, 10-3.
Well, they're just not giving him an opportunity to get set back there. He's rushing everything, and you get in those type habits when you're with a team that really hasn't protected the quarterback all that well. Right there, he throws the ball behind him because he gets back and he rushes it. Get back there, get the feet set, let the receiver get into his move and deliver the ball.
Second and 10. Complete to Derek Shepard, and Shepard is going to be about 2 yards shy of the first down. 8-yard pass play.
Nothing real fancy here. What they do is they try to get outside of containment right here. He's going to sprint out to the outside. Receiver runs off, comes back to the outside. Aikman has the opportunity to either run the ball for the first down once he gets outside or breaks containment. They contain him fairly well here. He elects to throw the ball. Nice play.
3rd and 2 for the Cowboys. Johnston running hard, and enough for the first down. A good 3-yard bull run by Darrell Johnston, the rookie out of Syracuse.
Good second effort. Good second effort there after initial contact of keeping the legs driving, spinning off of people. There's number 48, Darrell Johnston from Syracuse. Takes a play. Watch here. Hits in there. Stops, spins, keeps driving. Nice effort for the first down.
Darrell Johnston, of course, coming back from injury, hurt his leg, and back and pushing hard. Matter of fact, the report in the first half seemed to be a lot more serious than it actually was. Hyperextended knee. Tim Harris. And it's intercepted by John Anderson. So Anderson comes up with the interception, the 3rd of the afternoon for Green Bay, but give an awful lot of credit to Tim Harris harassing Troy Aikman.
A lot of credit to Tim Harris for harassing Aikman, but you take Aikman, and this is something that the young quarterback will have to learn. It's something that he probably will learn. Backed up in your own territory back there, you're sprinting out. Don't turn the ball over. Just throw the ball away. You're still involved in a very close game. You're getting a lot of heat from Tim Harris, number 97. Don't try to force that. Look at the yellow shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow shirts in there. Throw the ball away.
Packers take over. And Fullwood running hard forward for about 2 yards. John Anderson's first interception of the year. Missed last week because of a tender ankle. Scott Stephen came in his place and played extremely well.
Scott Stephen came in. He's made an immediate impact, and I think that has to be a good sign for Lindy Infante. John Anderson, a longtime leader of the Green Bay Packers on defense, and I don't know how many more years he has left, but they certainly have a very capable replacement in Scott Stephen.
2nd and 8. Fullwood. Up, and the ball comes loose. Cowboys have it. And Jack Del Rio runs in for the touchdown. .57 yards run by Jack Del Rio. And give the credit, the assist to John Carter, who jarred the ball loose.
Well, they get a lot of penetration. There's Fullwood with the ball, but look at the penetration right there by number 75 for the Dallas Cowboys. You get John Carter, gets that penetration, disrupts everything. They don't get a clean handoff. Ball goes on the ground, and Jack Del Rio picks it up, and it's got the Cowboys in a position to tie the game up.
Zendejas with the point after attempt. And it's good, and we've got a tie ball game. So Jack Del Rio, 5th-year player out of USC, part of that platoon defense, comes away with a big play, a touchdown for the Cowboys.
Top, we said that Lindy Infante reminded his team of one thing, that listen, hey, the Cowboys are in the very same place that we were last year when we were 2-12. We went in and upset the Minnesota Vikings, knocked them out of the Central Division Championship, and we can't let that happen. We can't let the Cowboys play spoiler. What's happened here today? The Cowboys are in a very good position to play spoiler.
Cowboys, who haven't had much to smile about all season long, have something temporarily to smile about. A tie ball game at 10 apiece. From the 7th, Vince Workman. Vince Workman still on his feet. driven out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So Vince Workman with a good return, giving Mikowski good field position. Elsewhere, the Philadelphia Eagles leading the Phoenix Cardinals by a touchdown. And, of course, the Packers need the Eagles to lose in order to get into the playoffs. Raiders and Giants all tied up. Giants, of course, trying to win the NFC East Division with the victory. And the Rams, on an Everett 7-yard TD, lead New England 17-3. That's not good news for the Packers. Greg Bell at halftime, 17 carries, 159 yards for the Rams. 1st and 10 for the Packers. 6:41 remaining in the third. Tie ball game. Complete to Perry Kemp, who's still on his feet across midfield. So Don Mikowski coming out fired up, whips a completion.
Well, you get the feeling that the Green Bay team is just on the verge of exploding. They haven't really played very good here in the first part of this game. They've let Dallas get back in the game with big plays, and as the one they just had, they've contained the passing game very well, made them take things underneath. But you get the feeling that the Green Bay team is on the verge of just exploding. They're that type of team, can strike very, very quickly with Kemp and Sharp and company.
Ball at the 49 of the Cowboys. 1st and 10 for the Packers. 3 wideouts. Sterling Sharp in the slot. And another miscue.
Well, as we talked, it's that very thing. I mean, that's the second fumble recovery, second fumble snap. The fumble for the touchdown. They just aren't playing the type of ball that it takes.
Offside, 51 defense. 1st down.
And there was a late flag thrown over to the far sideline, the Cowboys sideline, and the culprit, Ken Norton.
Well, you see that graphic right there talking about Don Mikowski and his ability to move around and throw the ball. He's throwing more balls off the scramble than he has setting up in the pocket.
1st and 5. Mikowski complete again to Perry Kemp for the 1st down. And Kemp inside the 30 to the 28 of Dallas. Ken Norton runs him out of bounds. A 16-yard pass play. Now, it seems like whenever Mikowski makes his mind up, they can do something.
Well, when he gets going, he's that type of player. He can go around for a couple of quarters or 3 quarters, and all of a sudden, he gets that arm going and gets these guys like Perry Kemp involved. The thing that you really notice about the situation with the Packers is they really haven't gotten the ball in Sterling Sharp's hands the way that they have in the past. Heads down from Wisconsin.
Mikowski complete to Woodside, who's hog-tied by Eugene Lockhart. Well shy of the 1st down.
Well, you just get the feeling of the play selection here from Lindy Infante that said, hey, enough is enough. Let's start airing the ball out. Let's start throwing the ball. It looks like that they're playing with much more intensity, throwing the ball all over the place, spreading things out. And here's Mikowski doing what he's done all year long. There's Keith Woodside throwing the ball underneath. Lockhart's Pro Bowl performance this year, a little upset by not making it, but quite an inside linebacker.
And rightfully so. Complete to Sterling Sharp. And Sterling Sharp, with his 3rd reception of the afternoon, Snake, that's where he's most dangerous. It's after catching the ball.
Exactly, and that's what we say. You notice it when he doesn't catch the ball. You notice when Green Bay does not get the ball to his hands, because he is so exciting once he does. Once they start to feature him, once they figure out the combinations that it takes to get the ball in his hands, then they're very, very dangerous. And here's what he does best, as you say, JB, breaks a tackle. Very good runner after the reception.
And with that reception, Sterling Sharp has now surpassed James Lofton as the yardage reception leader, a Green Bay record. He's got a lot more records coming his way as well. 1st and goal from the 5. Brent Fullwood back to the line of scrimmage only. Gang tackle by Willie Broughton and Jack Del Rio.
Willie Broughton, Ken Norton.
This is the area on the field where Green Bay is very successful with what's almost like pick-type plays. They line their wide receivers up, they run them into each other, make those defensive backs have to avoid each other on their coverage situations. They're very tough with their pick-type plays down around the 5-10-yard line.
2nd and goal from the 5. Brent Fullwood, not a big afternoon statistically at all. 8 carries for only 6 yards. Lankowski. Touchdown, Ed West. First catch of the afternoon by Ed West, and there was some concern as to whether or not he was even going to play because he was banged up and nicked up, but he got the call to start. Comes through.
Well, it's a nice little misdirection. See the fake right there? That fake is to hold the linebacker over Ed West, to make him step one way to the other. In this case, make him step to the right, which gives Ed West a chance to move out to his right-hand side for the touchdown.
And the point after by Chris Jackie, his 42nd, is good. And the Packers move out in front by 7 as you take a look at the Cheeseheads. Packers on top by a touchdown.
Dear Mom and Dad, I'm having a great time here at Camp Nippersink. There's lots to do, but I really want to say it's been raining every day. Canoe is swimming, all cooped up, no telephone. Maybe I should come on home.
Nippersinkers, we're going to town for lunch.
McDonald's and you, just around the bend. McDonald's and you, there's an old friend just like home. Have a good time.
Yes, the cooking's fine. Hey guys, ever play Whack Whack Waddle Waddle? Never heard of it. Give me a French fry and I'll tell ya.
Together, McDonald's and you.
We are Nippersinkers, we're in luck. If it rains all week, just pretend you're a duck. Whack Whack Waddle Waddle, Whack Whack Waddle Waddle.
Together, McDonald's and you.
Introducing the 1990 Toyota Celica. Its totally new shape will please your sense of design. And the way it moves will stimulate your sense of excitement. The all-new Toyota Celica. You'll love what it does for you.
Terra Nova's taking the weekend off.
Let's go be happy campers.
It's a reluctant vacation in the great outdoors. With Wise Guy, Wednesday.
And of course, there are a lot of Packer fans who are hoping that is in fact going to be the case. Packers on top 17-10. Christmas Day will be full for you here on CBS. Tomorrow afternoon starting at 2:30 Eastern Time. The World Junior Figure Skating Championships featuring USA Olympic hopefuls and superstars of tomorrow. That'll be followed by the NBA here on CBS. All get started at 2:30. James Dixon returning for the Cowboys up near the 27-yard line. And Dixon is limping off. As you take a look at Ed West.
Ed West, alternate to the Pro Bowl this year, nicknamed the Toolbox. Merry Christmas, Toolbox.
As he's saying hello to Keisha. Ball marked at the 27. Snake, as you project down the road for this young man, Troy Aikman, what do you like about him?
I think you like his toughness. You know, he's extremely tough. He's been knocked around an awful lot this year in his rookie year, and he's still standing there throwing the ball. He's got the big league arm, got a very big, strong arm, and I think you have to like that about him. He's smart, understands what they're trying to do. I just think he needs a complement of players around him. I think it's only a matter of time before he establishes himself as one of the better ones.
First and 10, Darrell Johnston. And Johnston with a 6-yard run.
I think you also have to like the improvement, JB. Early in the year, of course, he had the injury, and threw some interceptions, but then he learned a lot from it. He's had a good second half.
Still a close affair. Philadelphia and Phoenix. Eagles on top by a touchdown. New England narrowing the lead there. Grogan to Fryer makes it 17-10 Rams. And there's a Packer down on the field, and we'll bring you an injury report. Packers on top, 17-10.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth, real draft beer taste, the world is a very cool place. So tap into the cold. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
It was Dean Witter's personal philosophy of success.
We have a sacred trust to protect our customers.
But its impact was felt on California Street,
To maintain conservative policies.
on Lincoln Street, and Acorn Street.
To put the interest of our clients first.
Dean Witter put principles before profit, people before portfolios. There are many ways to measure success on Wall Street.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Dean Witter, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
Hey, Mark, may I borrow your car? It's a V6. Don't let the power go to your head.
The Toyota Camry V6 has 156 horsepower that makes for surprisingly exhilarating driving. But please, try to be mature about it.
Woo! Mark, thanks for letting me borrow this powerful Camry V6. I think I'll go out and buy one today.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
And as we went to commercial, we mentioned that there's a Packer on the field, and that's Brian Noble, the fifth-year veteran out of Arizona State, who looked to have just been crushed under a mass of humanity there.
Yeah, it looks like somebody maybe came in from the backside. Here you see number 68, right here, that area right there. You're going to see number 68, Crawford Kerr, getting into Noble, pushed him back, and then right there from the outside, one of his own players, looks like Chuck Cecil. Chuck Cecil comes in, and then there's just a mass of humanity on top, and really hard to determine what the injury is.
And you take a look at Brian Noble, good sign there that he's walking off under his own power.
Tough guy.
San Francisco, Chicago coming up next here on CBS. Neil Anderson on the way to his first Pro Bowl, playing extremely well for the Chicago Bears. And of course, Joe Montana will be starting for the 49ers. That'll be coming your way next. Boy, I tell you, they've got a very talented backup in Steve Young, who's done a good job in keeping his mouth shut and trying to show by action he deserves more playing time.
Well, Steve Young is the exception to the rule, a guy that really accepts his role as a backup. He's in a good situation with a championship caliber team. Steve Young is a special type player.
Darrell Johnston to the right. Gain of 3. Will bring up a 3rd and 1 situation as you take a look at training staff of the Packers working on Brian Noble, who said that he's a Bengals fan from way back, and assuming that his team wins today, he'll be rooting hard and heavy tomorrow night for the Bengals. 3rd and 1. Johnston, the lone back. And the ball carrier. Met temporarily in the backfield, but good second effort helps him to get the first down. And Robert Brown was the guy who had a shot at him first, but missed the tackle.
Darrell Johnson, real tough inside runner from Syracuse, get that big back situation, and watch him break this tackle by Robert Brown. Number 93 is going to meet him right there. Hits him up high, and that's the strength of that young man, is that big, strong upper body, and he goes forward with good body lean for the first down.
6'2", 235 pounds. And the running backs coach here really loves him. Joe Brodsky says he's the closest that we have to somebody who will work his rear end off to get better. 13 carries for 51 yards. Play action. Complete from Aikman to Shepard. Well, we've talked about how that Rams game is most important to the Packers. Let's check in with Brent Musburger.
And JB, the New England Patriots have struck back for a touchdown. Grogan, who replaced Mark Wilson, throws the touchdown pass to Irving Fryer, who got behind the Rams secondary and went 47 yards. 17-10. Rams still lead, but it's down to 7. Let's go back to JB.
Second down.
All right, Brent, and certainly the drama goes down in the final stretch. Philadelphia and Phoenix still close. Rams and New England close. Packers are hoping for more than close. And that's the end of the third quarter here at Texas Stadium with the score Green Bay 17, Dallas 10. We now pause for a word from your local station.
This is CBS.
It's Oldsmobile's new generation celebration. Oldsmobile's made it possible for its dealers to pass along millions of dollars to its customers.
What does this mean to you, the people of Northeast Wisconsin? $608,500, that's what.
I bought my new Olds. I want my share of the cash.
Yes, sir, Mr. Nitschke.
See your favorite Northeast Wisconsin Olds Reliable for your share of the cash.
White shirt, purple tie, Viking colors. You're not a Viking fan, are you?
No, sir, Mr. Nitschke. Love those Packers.
What you never expected. What you always wanted. A light beer with body and soul. Special export light.
A delicious chicken filet sandwich, a large fry, and a large drink. All for one special price. That's not a triple, that's a home run!
Hardee's introduces Fun Fries. Our new crispy curls are potato spiral delights with a very lively flavor. Catch 'em if you can.
TV2 congratulates Lindy Infante and the Green Bay Packers on a great season.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement. The American Express card. Membership has its privileges. And by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered for real draft taste. So tap into the cold.
Ed Too Tall Jones, Everson Walls, and that man there, Tom Rafferty, 3 veterans from the old regime who don't know whether or not they'll be here next year.
Oh, Tom Rafferty anchored that offensive line back in the Staubach days for years, and just a great player that brings that leadership and good toughness to the offensive line. And of course, Rafferty had a terrific career and is on his way out, but after a very fine career.
Kind of interesting what he thought as we take a quick look at Darrell Johnston and talk about toughness. His running ability gives the Cowboys a first down. Where he thought the Cowboy decline started.
Well, he said he thinks that the decline started when Danny White broke his wrist. They were off to they were winning. They were like 6-1, 6-2 at the time. Danny White breaks his wrist. They go on to have a losing season. Since then, they've gone with Hogaboom, they've gone with Pallure, and they really haven't had that quarterback step in as a long-term player, such as the Roger Staubach.
14-15 remaining in the game. Cowboys trailing by a touchdown as Darrell Johnston continues to get the call on the ground. Runs ahead for 3 yards. And Don Mikowski trying to keep that arm warm and, more importantly, hoping that their season will continue into postseason play.
They don't know how to have fun over here. They all tight.
Will become a free agent at the end of the season, a restricted free agent in February.
I bet he gets
a 2-year deal a couple of years ago, and boy, is he sitting in good position.
I bet he gets a nice Christmas present. His will come in the offseason, I'm sure.
2nd and 7. Keith Jennings, the move man. Jennings receives it for the first down, loses the ball out of bounds, but not before gaining the first down.
Well, to shake him loose, he's going to come in motion right down the line right here, break it out there, and then number 22, Mark Lee, who is rolling up in the zone right here, rolls up in the zone, comes up to try to make the play, gambles a little bit. Here comes Jennings out in the flat. There's Lee. Gambles a little bit to try to deflect the ball, misses him completely, which gives Jennings the opportunity to gain extra yards.
1st and 10 from the 40 of the Packers. Aikman fakes the pitch, rolling left. Harris pursuing him. Gets hit hard by Brian Noble. So with Tim Harris breathing down Aikman's back, Noble nails him from the front, but Aikman gains 8 on the play.
Well, Noble banged up, you see right there, but still in good enough shape to deliver a lick. This is the thing you don't like about Aikman, that I don't like about Aikman. I think he ought to dive, get down. He's running straight up as he can be, and he lets those big linebackers take those free shots. He's got to protect himself better than that. See how straight up he is, and he's right in the middle of a bunch of vicious tacklers.
That's your franchise play.
You bet.
2nd and 2. Comes loose. Packers say they have it. We'll await the official signal. And the Packers do have it. 4th turnover of the afternoon. And Snake, I was just about to mention, it's been a pretty even up ball game between the two with the exception of turnovers.
The Cowboys have been playing Green Bay heads up. As you say, the turnovers have been the situation. Aikman turned the ball over going in the first half of the game, down inside the Green Bay's 10-yard line, took points off the board. He threw an interception at his own territory, which led to a Green Bay touchdown, and then, of course, these fumbles. Playing them heads up, turnovers are killing them.
And the veteran Mark Murphy comes up with the fumble recovery. Green Bay's ball when we come back.
You hear the thunder, the call of the road.
Moving quick and with purpose. That's the whole idea behind Pontiac's newest Grand Prix.
Get on your Pontiac and ride, Pontiac ride.
Introducing the first Grand Prix ever with 4 doors. The new Grand Prix Sports Sedan.
Rebuild excitement.
Now get 4.8% financing on every new Grand Prix during Pontiac's All-Out Excitement Closeout.
Premium champagne.
Deja vu.
You just bought that.
Somebody stole it.
I set down the package to help Megan, and when I turned around, it was gone.
Is it gone, Daddy?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Didn't you use American Express?
You mean that's it? It's automatic?
Whatever you buy with the American Express card is covered, Mr. Wilcox. Even gifts.
Oh, we were counting on that.
Lost, stolen, or damaged, having a way to protect the things you buy.
Well, Mikowski working his magic, of course, with the 2 touchdowns. Aikman 3 interceptions. Not the fact that he had 3 interceptions. Where were they? 1 going in and scoring territory, 1 coming out of your own territory, which points involved there. The turnovers, as we said, had really been their downfall.
And going back to the top, as we said, Green Bay must win today and then get a little help from the Eagles and the Rams in order to get in, but both of those teams, Philadelphia and LA, are winning as it stands right now. And of course, if Green Bay holds on for the victory, they'll have to hope for a Vikings loss tomorrow night. That, of course, a big matchup. Vikings and Cincinnati Bengals. 1st and 10 for the Pack from the 30. Mikowski drills it complete, about a yard shy of the 1st down marker, depending upon the spot. And that's Ed West with the 9-yard pass reception.
Cowboys doing a good job of taking away the deep stuff, taking away the vertical type passing game, making Green Bay throw the ball underneath. They've contained that wide receivers. They've contained that speed very well.
That was his rookie year.
Indianapolis in that matchup with the New Orleans Saints would be out if they lose. They're trailing 24-6. 2nd and inches. Mikowski going for the pass. Throws it complete for the 1st down to Sterling Sharp. Now Sharp already has set a team record with 85 catches coming into the game today. and he's got 4 already.
Well, Sterling Sharp is a smart receiver. He knows when to stop, when to sit down, knows where those zones are, has a very good understanding of what defenses are trying to do to him. When he gets his man-to-man coverage, he knows how to use that speed, the great speed, to break away from people. When he's getting zones, he knows when to sit down and help his quarterback.
Strong physically. As a matter of fact, has a brother who's playing at Savannah State that they say may be a little better. And again, I think that was just Sterling selling his brother. Mikowski on first down, and the ball in and out of the hands of the big tight end, Ed West. That one was right there.
Very similar to the play before, 2 plays before, when Ed West made the play. They realized what they're doing to him on defense with those zones. See, watch the linebackers. Watch Lockhart run out of there. That's going to be a zone. West realizes that, sits down. Mikowski's on the money. He just got to come up with the catch.
Ed West said himself that he's sure that his Pro Bowl alternate status was not because of his pass catching this year. Came into the contest 20 catches for 255 yards, but a lot of respect for his blocking. 2nd and 10. 3 wideouts in for the Packers. Mikowski was looking for Sharp, who was covered, and throws it as he's falling down. Dean Hamill putting the pressure on him. Mikowski looked in the direction of Sterling Sharp as long as he could, but Sharp was covered well.
Well, they've done a good job on Sharp, other than the one big play that he made. But watch right here. Here's Sharp going down, working in that hook zone. There's a linebacker sitting there, shadowing him everywhere he goes. And by the time that takes place, they get the pressure on Mikowski.
Jesse Solomon, ex-Minnesota Vikings player, did a great job. As a matter of fact, when Jesse came to the Cowboys, was still rehabbing from that knee. And I'm sure, knowing that he was coming to a new situation, that knee got well quick. Herman Fontenot alone back and on 3rd down. And it's complete. And depending upon where they mark it, it should be more than enough for the first down. Reception made by Jeff Query. And Snake, I've talked about how Jeff Query this season has really come up with some big plays.
Has made some big plays. Comes in on their 4 wide receiver package. Here they get a situation with man-to-man underneath with a free safety. There's Albright, the safety back in the middle, coming up, making a nice play. Query gives you that speed and a possession-type receiver. Good, smart, young receiver. This entire core of receivers, young and ready to go.
And, of course, he caught the touchdown earlier. Jeff Query out of Milliken. 1st and 10 for the Pack. 9:40 remaining in the game. Green Bay on top by a touchdown as Brent Forwood explodes up the middle.
Well, anytime you have a very successful passing game, you're always going to have your draws and you're always going to have screens. You spread things out. Look how spread they are. They're outside, 2 wide receivers on each side. You spread things. They're playing zone. You see Lockhart dropping out of there in the zone, and you pop the big fullback up in there in the draw. Draw always a part of a good passing offense.
Good 7-yard run by Brent Forwood will bring up a 2nd and 3 situation. Trying to work the clock. Under 9 minutes remaining in the game. Forwood. And Forwood gets close to the first down. And I know when we talked with Lindy Infante at the top of the year, mentioned a number of things about how a quarterback principally had to come through, but he also talked a lot about Brent Forwood having to be a major part of this offense.
First thing he said is a quarterback this year, early in the year, he said his quarterback had to step up and be known, and Mikowski has done that. Then you have to get the ball outside to Sharp. They've done that. And then they had to get the good year out of this guy right there. They have gotten a good year, 800-plus yards, slowed down lately with some nicks, some injuries.
10 carries for only 15 yards today. In the I formation, Forward again. He's got the first down. Well, the stats may not be impressive, but if he comes up with big plays like that, getting the first downs, that'll make up for it.
Sure, that's what they want out of him, to help control the ball on the ground, take a little bit of pressure off the passing game, and to show you what a tough runner Brent Forwood can be. Watch, he breaks the line of scrimmage here, and then look at him run right over the top of Ray Horton, number 30.
And until the Nixon injury slowed him up, again, reinforcing what Lindy Infante felt about the Plan B free agent market, helping to make for a more competitive situation. Michael Haddix really pushed Brent Fullwood.
Also said when you have to play Michael Haddix, he doesn't worry about that whatsoever. Michael Haddix, good, steady performer.
Flag on first down as Fullwood gets the call again. Flags on both sides of the field.
Offsides, defense, first down.
Spared someone the embarrassment by not calling the number. All the way down from Madison, Wisconsin. Now, we will call them affectionately Cheeseheads. As a matter of fact, the Wisconsin Dairy Association sent a whole shipment of cheese to the Cincinnati Bengals coach, Sam Weich, hoping that they will help them tomorrow night against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, they'll need some help with that. They need to win here today, and then they need Cincinnati to give them a hand.
1st and 5. Woodside tripped up. Give the credit to Dean Hamill. Boy, Dean Hamill has really been getting in that backfield and causing some damage.
I think that's a strong part of his game. It's really not as a pass rusher. It's the fact that he is very, very quick off the football. He's not a huge defensive lineman. Fairly short for a defensive lineman, about 6'3". Weighs about 260, but he's very quick off the ball, gets that penetration past the line of scrimmage to help destroy all the blocking combinations.
Started 17 games in 4 years with the Redskins. As you take a look at the Packers on this drive here, eating up the clock, the big thing there. 6:23 remaining in the game. 2nd and 9. Mikowski throwing in the direction of Perry Kemp. And I bet you when Sterling Sharp gets back to the huddle, he'll tell Mikowski, hey, I was open, babe.
Well, I think that he probably was. They had him in the slot that time and sent him back to the corner, and I think he did have something. Looked like Mikowski may have kind of just made his mind up that, hey, I'm going to try to take Kemp on the outside and then get the first down and go from there.
Well, certainly Kemp has been the benefactor of Sterling Sharp receiving so much attention, particularly in the first half.
I don't think there's any doubt. I think you're going to get teams that are going to say, hey, who can hurt us as a pass receiver? They're going to say Sterling Sharp. Okay, let's double him, take him away, opens things up for the other receivers.
Herman Fontenot, the lone back. On 3rd down, Mikowski completes to Sharp for the first down. Well, when he has to go to the sure-handed receiver, Sterling Sharp.
And the thing that makes him so tough down here when he gets that tight coverage, when he gets that man-to-man type coverage, is he's so quick off the ball. Watch this right here, and the little stutter step moves right here. Give him a little something outside right there, get their defensive back turned, break the ball inside. Good, clean reception for the first down.
There was a late flag on that play.
Offsides, defense, penalty is declined, first down.
All right, goes against Dallas. No, Sterling Sharp, I guess the best way to characterize him is to say he's the Tim Harris of the offense.
Always talking out there, has a good time playing, always talking to his teammates, talks to the other guys he's playing against. There you see the big smile on his face. Very friendly, outgoing personality.
Said he really hopes that his brother does not get drafted in the first round because he might make more money. And you see he's near Lindy Infante. Working those ears. On first down, Fullwood trying to get to the outside. Good second effort as he escapes the grasp of Jim Jeffcoat for only a 1-yard gain.
Well, there were 2 tight ends that time trying to run the ball, like we said earlier, to secure one of the corners. They bring in that 2 tight ends off the perimeters, and they try to bounce Fullwood outside. But Jeffcoat plays it very well. Number 77 does not lose containment, strings it out, gets a hand on Fullwood, and then waits for a little help from his friends.
Did you ever have any receivers who always wanted the ball and said they could always be open?
Cliff Branch used to holler for the ball before he ever put his shoes on. Before he ever got him tied in the locker room, Cliff Branch was saying, I got this guy, I can beat him.
Packers extremely effective inside the 20, scoring 87% of the time as Keith Woodside takes it down inside the 10 for a 3-yard gain. And knowing that you had to play the part of psychologist, how did you deal with him?
Oh, you agree. You just say, okay, I'll get it to you. I'm going to throw it to you every down. You just kind of calm them down, tell them you're going to work with them. But to be perfectly honest with you, the thing to do with guys like that is get them something early. Throw them the ball early. That settles them down. Big down right here. Down inside, they bring in all of their wide people, queries in. They bring in Fontenot, 27, a group of wide receivers. Down here is where they have great success picking people, running those defensive backs together.
4 wideouts in for the Pack. Perry Kemp, the move man. Mikowski goes back across to Fontenot. And Fontenot is going to come up short of the first down. And for you Packer fans, take a look there. All tied between the Rams and New England, 17 apiece. Of course, if the Rams lose, the Packers, if they win today, get into the playoffs. Chris Jackie will attempt this field goal for the Packers. And it's good. So Chris Jackie gives the Packers a bit more of a buffer by 10.
Miller Genuine Draft.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
I thought, this isn't a little quake. 504, it just felt like a giant jackhammer hit the house. The All-State Claims Adjuster was driven down here and introduced himself as Roger. He just took me around and consoled me and told me that we were going to get a place to stay in, we were going to be able to rebuild, and then he did something he didn't have to do. He started climbing right up there and hauling stuff out for us. You know, you listen to these ads about you're in good hands, and if you don't go through it, it's just one more ad that you laugh at. Well, I won't laugh at it now.
Big, it's now. It's Pontiac's all-out excitement closeout. Now with our longest-term 4.8% finance rate ever on Grand Prix. That's right. Now every new Grand Prix is available with long-term 4.8% financing. Or get your share of millions in cash back on Grand Prix and almost every other new 1990 Pontiac in stock. But hurry, your Pontiac dealer is closing out the year with big cash back or 4.8% financing on Grand Prix. It won't last long. See your Pontiac excitement dealer now.
The team of the decade plays their last game of the decade. The Niners in the 80s against the Bears today.
Chris Jackie's 24-yard field goal puts the Pack on top 20-10. A good afternoon for Chris Jackie, and there's his mom's standing up there, Mildred Jackie. She's here today with her husband and 12 other relatives and friends.
Yeah, good Christmas present for that lady right there would be the Packers in the playoffs, huh?
No doubt about it. High and short. This one taken at the 15 by Dixon. And Dixon hops his way up to about the 37-yard line. Let's check in for an NFL Today update with Brent Musburger.
Well, JB, a lot of folks said the Los Angeles Rams might have some difficulty coming east to conquer the weather. And right now, the Patriots have moved into a tie. It is 17-all. Rams need a win to get into the playoffs. Let's go back to JB.
All right, Brent. Well, we certainly know some fans who aren't cheering for the Rams, and those are Packer fans. And speaking of other playoff hopefuls, with Indianapolis losing to the New Orleans Saints right now by the score of 31-6. If Indianapolis loses, then Houston gets back into the playoff picture. They become a wild card. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Derek Shepard. Share your holidays with us here on CBS. We'll bring a full lineup your way starting tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern with a Christmas Winter Sports Special. The World Junior Figure Skating Championships coming your way starting at 2:30 Eastern time, and then that'll be followed by the NBA on CBS, Cleveland and Atlanta. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, and Pat O'Brien will bring you the excitement of Dominique Wilkins and the shooting precision of Mark Price and Craig Elo. Hoops tomorrow right here on CBS.
Cowboys need to find a way to throw the ball down the field. Green Bay's making them throw everything underneath. They need to start stretching that defense because they're running out of time. They've got to have 2 scores. They're going to have to do something in a hurry. I see throwing the ball down the field.
And a hurry indeed. Only 3:06 remaining as Cornell Burbage saw that one go through his hands. The coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS is Chuck Milton. Today's game was produced by George Veras, always on top of it and on the phone, and directed by Bob Matina. Our associate director is Richard Drake, and our broadcast associate is Larry Lancaster. Stats and numbers, Gary Lynn, Steve Kleinfeld, and of course we'd like to thank our fine crew for an outstanding year, and the executive producer, the boss, Ted Shaker. On 3rd and 10, Tim Harris comes through with sack number 1 of the day for him, 19.5 on the year.
Well, they contained him most of the day. You can't contain him all day. He's just a great player, Pro Bowl player, 18.5 sacks, now 19.5 sacks. He is the reason that their defense has survived this year because they've moved him all over the field. There he is playing the game on the right-hand side, right in there. Very quick, strong, tall, tough player.
Number 85, Jeff Myers. And safety for the Packers at his own 26-yard line.
Saxon gets away a low liner, but it takes Cowboys hop flag on a play as Jeff Query turns on the afterburners and pushed out of bounds up near the 27-yard line by Jack Del Rio. 49-yard punt, 11-yard return. Have we nicknamed Bob Matina Pictures? Is that the deal?
He's Pictures.
Pictures.
Our director, and a good one.
.230 remaining in the game. Packers on top by 10.
Post-possession foul. Holding. 83 on the receiving team. First down.
That's Carl Bland. And Tom Dooley just gave us the signal as well to take a commercial break, and we'll do just that. Tim Harris celebrating with the Packers leading by 10.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. Jim Plunkett and Randy Vataha were teammates forever. Beginning in 1967, they played together for 4 years at Stanford. And when Plunkett was the #1 draft choice of the Patriots, Vataha, a free agent, followed his former teammate to New England. The partnership and magic that they had exhibited in college was there in the pros, as these 2 longtime teammates made the Patriots the best they can be.
Enemy on the open. Moving up on your right, Bravo 2. Fire!
I'm 30 miles from the action, but I'm responsible for a digital communication link between headquarters and brigade.
Enemy text, checkpoint 1.
If the data isn't programmed right, 5,000 troops could be cut off.
Enemy forces together.
But I'd never let that happen to my brigade.
Op 4 is eliminated.
Be all that you can be.
You did it, sir.
Outstanding.
Get an edge on life in the Army.
Just when you thought it was safe to go on vacation. It's the Griswolds. Chevy Chase stars in the original National Lampoon's Vacation Tuesday.
Get ready.
I'm running out of guys who'll work with you next.
For a cop with a different lifestyle.
They think you're dangerous.
Works hard.
They think you're crazy.
Plays even harder.
They think you'll get them killed.
Shadow Stevens.
They drink too much caffeine.
Is Max Monroe Loose Cannon. Premieres Friday, January 5th.
Lindy Infante trying to stay on top of his troops. Right now, his troops are in good shape on top by 10, 20-10. And if you're just tuning in, Green Bay can get into the playoffs by first, of course, beating the Cowboys, which they're doing and should hold on. And then they'll need some help from Philadelphia or L.A. Those 2 squads, either or, would have to lose today. Rams are tied right now. Eagles are ahead in their contest. So that means Green Bay will have to hope for a Minnesota loss tomorrow against Cincinnati. As Keith Woodside gets run out of bounds and a flag on a play. A little over-aggressive, an extra play over after the play being whistled, as well as a face mask. I guess that might cover it all, huh? Probably should have put face mask first, huh?
Tom's going to straighten this out.
Little lecture.
Face mask, 24 defense, first down.
And from the Packer faithful who are here down near the end zone, they're yelling, "The Pack is back." I think that's a fairly accurate statement.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think they can improve their team in some areas, of course. I think offensively they're extremely strong with an awful lot of weapons. I think they'd like to have a little bit more pass rush out of their down people to help out Tim Harris.
On 1st and 5, Brent Fullwood gets the call, and he runs into a wall of Cowboys for a no gain. Dean Hamill, along with Jack Del Rio, smashing into Fullwood. And the Cowboys have called a timeout. 2:17 remaining. Snake and I talked about the Packers with 3 Pro Bowlers on this year's squad. Sterling Sharp, Don Mikowski, and Tim Harris. An alternate in Ed West. And Rich Moran certainly did a little something good as well.
Of course, Joe Montana having a career year.
Take a look at the rest of the Pro Bowlers from the NFC. And on the defensive side, Tim Harris represented Lawrence Taylor, Mike Singletary. Singletary actually beat out Eugene Lockhart, although he had only, quote, 137 tackles. Lockhart was well over 200. That's certainly not taking anything away from Mike Singletary. I certainly wouldn't be the one to say it to him. Maybe Tim Harris would. 2nd and 5. And Mikowski, under pressure, throws it wide of the intended target, Ed West.
Well, he had something working coming out of the play fake, trying to slide the tight end out there. Jack Del Rio, number 55, on a linebacker blitz, gets his hands in Mikowski's face, disrupts the timing, and Mikowski overthrows.
That'll be coming up next. Speaking of Mike Singletary and company, they'll be taking on the San Francisco 49ers. I tell you, even during the Chicago slide, Mike Singletary has played with fierce pride and intensity. 3rd and 5. 4 wide receivers set in for the Packers. And Mikowski tries to run it to get to the first down, and a gain of a big 1 as Bill Bates stops him as we wind down to the 2-minute warning. 2:03 remaining. And a timeout has been called by the Cowboys. So the Cowboys with 1 remaining. The education of Jimmy Johnson this year in the NFL. Talked about a number of things, said he wasn't aware that the talent wasn't as good as he thought. We also found out that he thought he had some speed, but he was looking at his own players and really was misled.
Yeah, this team wasn't quite as fast as he anticipated, weren't quite as good as he anticipated. I think the rigors of just being an NFL coach was a little bit more than he expected. Not enough time, in his opinion, to help develop the young players. Not real happy with the Cowboy facility. It says it's not conducive to winning football. The weight training facility outside, the weather interrupts the weight training, and he's upset about a lot of different things.
And just a couple minutes away from setting a new record for home futility. It'll be 14 consecutive home losses. The Packers' Don Bracken comes on to punt, standing near his own goal line. Big rush. He gets it away and gets a good one away. Pushing Burbage back. 4-5 hang time. And the Cowboys will start from their own 31 after that 48-yard Don Bracken punt.
genuine draft.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
You hear the thunder, the call of the road. No time to wonder, you gotta go.
It's a driving experience like no other. Pontiac Grand Prix.
Get on your Pontiac and ride, Pontiac ride.
Once you experience the 1990 Grand Prix, your approach to driving will never be the same.
Rebuild excitement.
Now get 4.8% financing on every new Grand Prix during Pontiac's All-Out Excitement Closeout.
This is really weird. I have to shampoo a lot. And every time I do, my hair gets wet, but my scalp gets dry. It's tight and itchy. The more I shampoo, the drier it can get. Now, I can't stop shampooing, but I can use this. New dry scalp shampoo from Head & Shoulders. Made a different way, so it doesn't dry out your scalp like those other guys can. Try Head & Shoulders new dry scalp shampoo and help wipe out dry scalp.
1:55 remaining in the game. Green Bay on top, 20-10. And for the Packer followers, the Rams trailing by 3 as New England comes up with a field goal to take the lead late in the fourth quarter there. And of course, if the Rams lose, Packers are into the playoffs. And there won't be a more vocal Packer than Tim Harris if that holds. First and 10 from the 31 for the Cowboys. Aikman throws it to Keith Jennings. Jennings has the first down by a yard. Tackled by Ron Pitts.
They're really playing that deep, almost like a prevent type zone, which it is. If you'll look at how deep the linebackers line up. Look at that right there, JB. Look how deep the safeties are, not to avoid giving up the big play.
Aikman running for the second first down near the 40-yard line of the Packers. And for those detailing, Jason Starosky with the field goal, a 48-yarder. And there are 5 minutes remaining in that Rams-New England contest. Well, I tell you, Pete Rozelle got exactly what he was looking for in terms of parity. This many teams going into the last weekend of the season, still with the shot of making it into the playoffs.
It has really made for an exciting year, all the way down to the wire and all the divisions with everybody still available for playoff contention. It's just really been an exciting year to reiterate that he has got what he wants.
Complete with Junior Tuipulotu inside the 30 and a third first down for the Cowboys. 11-yard gain. And again, that prevent defense you're talking about allowing that.
It's going to allow that. They're going to give you that short stuff, the dump off type stuff. You're going to see that happen when they get in that type of defense.
And Aikman escapes the grasp of Mark Hall, who had him, and comes back with the second effort to get him. A loss of 2. So Mark Hall missed the first tackle, an opportunity at a sack, but good second effort drops Aikman with under a minute.
Exactly. Aikman just spends his last timeout. That's all the Cowboy timeouts. See those backs back there playing that deep zone. Linebackers dropping out of there. They don't even touch number 72. He comes in there. Aikman, with his athletic ability, just has to do whatever he can to get whatever he can. Come on, rally around him, guys. Help him out.
Mark Hall, a rookie out of Southwest Louisiana, picks up his first professional sack. And Dallas out of timeouts. Just thinking all your years, in a situation like this, down by 10, I've heard tell stories where you would still tell your guys, hey, we can do it. We've got it under control. What might the package of plays be that Jimmy Johnson ought to be telling his crew right now?
Well, I think you have to have that attitude. There were 55 seconds left, and of course you're down by 10. Anything can happen, but I think you have to find ways to throw the ball to the receivers while they're on the run, not dump it off to guys that are stationary, crossing type things where they might catch the ball on the run, break it real bit for a big one doing, and then, of course, try to get the ball back again.
On 2nd and 12, Aikman going up top, looking for Shepard, and it's intercepted by Dave Brown. 4th interception of the day for the Packers. Dave Brown's 6th of the year. A 15-year veteran. So while the Packers seemingly secure things here, the Rams are down on a 4-yard line of New England, threatening there as Mikowski goes into the win it formation, as you call it.
The winning formation. Don't risk any kind of handoff or anything. Just get the exchange from the center. Cowboys are out of all their timeouts and run it out.
So Lindy Infante is just going to allow the clock to run out, and he gets the big dump of water from his team.
And there's his big defensive star right there to meet him, Tim Harris. Great year, Pro Bowl type year.
And he probably was thinking if anyone was going to throw the water, it was going to be Tim
Harris.
So I'm safe.
He's done just a masterful coaching job this year of manipulating his players into positions to help them help the ball club. Great offensive passing game. Got a great year defensively out of Tim Harris. Good coaching job.
So Green Bay does its part trying to get into the playoffs with the victory 20-10. They need a little help. Don't forget, coming up next, the NFL postgame show with Brent and Irv. They'll be with you in just a moment.
Behind every American.
Congratulations to Green Bay. Let's quickly now take you to New England. The Rams are threatening. They're trying to get in. They've just rushed the ball inside the 5-yard line. We're now going to join Tim Brandt live.
We want to welcome everyone to Sullivan Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. It is cold, temperature 15 degrees. 2 minutes and 14 seconds remain in the ball game, and the Patriots, surprising the Rams, lead 20-17. Greg Bell for the Rams has gone over 200 yards rushing. And now, Los Angeles is inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal at the 3.
All right, we will go back after the 2-minute warning. And let's take a look at some of the earlier action from the game. The Patriots have come from behind in this one. And, of course, a short time ago, they drew ahead. For all Green Bay Packer fans, they need a win by the Patriots, and the Packers qualify for the playoffs. Now, this was Jerry Gray picking off the pass early for the Rams back in the first half, and it put the Rams up by 10 points, and it looked like it was going to be easier, and then the Patriots came back.
Well, John Stevens gets outside and over his left end. The Ram defense broke down there. He goes in from 4 yards out, and the Pats took the lead.
All right. Now, of course, the other scenario does not look good as far as Green Bay is concerned, and that's that one right there. Philadelphia 10 points ahead of the Cardinals. Now, should the Rams come on and win this game this afternoon and the Eagles' lead hold up, then it goes down to tomorrow night as far as the Green Bay Packers are concerned. They must have a victory by the Cincinnati Bengals over the Vikings, because the Packers would not qualify for the playoffs if the Vikings win that game. Should the Vikings lose it tomorrow night at home against Cincinnati, then the Packers will win the division championship. So, Irv, you can't say enough about the job Lindy Infante has done with this Green Bay team, regardless of what happens.
Well, you know, everybody sort of thought it was a fluke early in the year when they beat Chicago and a questionable pass play early in the season when they thought their quarterback may or may not have been across the line of scrimmage. But they have a high-powered offense. Their defense has come along very well. And, well, he's a candidate now for Coach of the Year.
He certainly is. All right. They're about ready now to resume play. Remember, the Patriots lead it by 3. 2 minutes to play. Rams inside the 5. Back to Tim Brandt.
A win by the Rams today would clinch a wild card spot. If they lose, they need help. Minnesota has to lose. Temperature 15 degrees. Wind chill -2. Rams have 3 timeouts remaining. The Patriots have 3. And the attention now starts to focus on Greg Bell, the running back for the Rams. 25 carries, 207 yards. It's his third 200-yard game of his career.
And you know the Rams offensively, you've got to be thinking, hey, Greg Bell has been running well for us. Our offensive line has been blocking tremendously well for us. Let's just keep in there behind the big guys and take it into the end zone, win this thing, and get on the plane and go home to Los Angeles.
Tim Brandt along with Dan Jiggets. It's 1st and goal at the 3. Rams. Bell, right side, touchdown Los Angeles.
Ron Robertson knowing that he's got it going now. Just get that defense out there and have them hold, and they're on their way to the playoffs.
Lansford comes on for the extra point. And I don't know how he's doing it with no sock or shoe on that right foot. And it's good. I know this. Lansford's running faster and faster to that sideline.
And Greg Bell has been running faster and faster throughout this game. He's had a
Well, some of the most interested observers, Irv, as the replay here, and the Rams go ahead on this touchdown inside of 2 minutes to play. Obviously, we're going to keep Packer fans informed as to what happens if the Patriots come back in this one. And the Green Bay Packers, as soon as they left the field down in Dallas, they all went inside the locker room, and they're watching that game, and they saw the Rams take the lead. This is a live shot right now of the Green Bay Packer locker room needing help here so that they can get on into the playoffs. Obviously, they would love to see the Patriots rally and pull this one out. You can see the screen that they're watching on inside their facility down at Texas Stadium right now. Now, we do have one final in, and it has affected the playoffs. The Indianapolis Colts have been knocked out of the AFC chase 41-6. What this means is there is a very good chance, or at least a chance, that Houston and Cincinnati would meet again as the wild card game. The Bengals would have to beat the Vikings for that to happen. If not, it's going to be Houston and Pittsburgh. The Steelers are well on their way to a victory. So everything will become perfectly clear, and we'll inform you at halftime. We'll keep Packer fans up to date on what's happening. Coming up next, it'll be Chicago and San Francisco. So long for now, everybody.
Morning, folks. This is Captain Neely. Appears we've got the friendly skies all to ourselves.
Well, most people are just getting up. One airline...
Rams and Lindy Infante with a win got the dousing from the ice bucket down in Dallas on a very bitter cold day. And moments after that, it was the New Orleans Saints who closed out on a very strong note, eliminating the Indianapolis Colts from all playoff contention in the AFC. So a disappointing ending for Ron Meyer. Meanwhile, the Packers went inside their locker room to pull for the New England Patriots, because if the Patriots could hold on against the Rams, the Packers would go to the playoffs. But Greg Bell, with a monstrous afternoon, rushing for better than 200 yards, put the Rams ahead with time running out in the game at Foxborough. Then shortly after that, the Kansas City Chiefs eliminated the Miami Dolphins from playoff contention with a field goal by Nick Lowry. But the jubilation in Kansas City did not last long, because shortly after that, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers eliminating Kansas City as Lewis Lips caught 2 touchdown passes and the Steelers stayed alive. Meanwhile, back at Dallas, last play time for the Patriots. Packers watching from the locker room. Steve Grogan had a man open momentarily, couldn't spot him, and then overthrew a receiver. Now, the Packers' hopes depend upon the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Los Angeles Rams had won a wild card spot in the NFC playoffs. Then at the Meadowlands, over in New Jersey, it was the New York Giants, ending the one-year reign of the Philadelphia Eagles as division champions. Led by Dave Meggett with a sensational punt return, the Giants put away the Los Angeles Raiders in the second half, and they will host a divisional playoff game in 2 weeks. 34-17 was the final. And Bill Parcells getting the photographers back out of the way, he took the water treatment. Then it was Randall Cunningham and the Philadelphia Eagles. and they will host the wild card next week against the Los Angeles Rams. Cunningham leading the Eagles on into the promised land. One more piece of business on this day before Christmas, and Earl Cross, what a year for Barry Sanders.
What an exciting runner today. He scored 3 touchdowns, ran for 158 yards, and is just about 10 yards shy of the overall rushing record. There it is right there.
Christian Okoye of the Kansas City Chiefs winning it in the AFC. And now a look at the playoff picture. Next Sunday, the Rams and the Eagles. This figures to be the first game next Sunday afternoon. We do not have official confirmation on that. In the AFC, the Houston Oilers will be at Cincinnati, 61-7. What a rematch that would be. But first, the Bengals must beat Minnesota tomorrow night. If the Vikings win, they're going to go, and so are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They will go down to Houston to play the Oilers. Now, that's a situation as far as the AFC is concerned. In the NFC, the Giants and the 49ers will host games in 2 weeks. It'll be either Minnesota or Green Bay.
At least that could be a seasonal.
But as you say, tie. Minnesota would win the tie break should they go on and win against Cincinnati on Monday night. So Green Bay knew they had to beat Dallas and then just wait for Monday and cheer on those Cincinnati Bengals. Just the same, a win today would be their 10th of the season. They won just 4 last year, and Packer fans were hoping Santa would come in riding with a victory, bringing gifts like this gift, Don Mikowski to Perry Kemp, 39 yards. Kemp is ruled down, and the Packers will settle for a field goal, but they have a 3-0 lead. The Dallas defense huddles and says, let's regroup, guys. We do not want to finish 1-15. Mikowski gets sacked, fumbles the ball, and watch this, a little help, and it rolls all the way out of bounds. Mikowski then nailed by Billy Bates, who comes in with a hit. Then sacked by Jeff Coat once again. Cheeseheads all the way from Wisconsin down to Dallas. They're silent at this point. Dallas drives downfield. Troy Aikman's intercepted by Johnny Holland. And then late in the half, the Packers will be on the move. Sterling Sharp for 29 yards. And what a catch this one is, Tom.
John, this is the most difficult of catches for receivers. It's coming straight over the top of his head. And then after he catches the ball, has the presence of mind to plant the feet in bounds and get the legal grab.
2 plays later, Mikowski to work again. Finds Jeff Query, 14 yards for the touchdown. The Packers are up 10-3 at halftime, and the Cheeseheads have something to cheer about this time. And then second half, the Packer tries to get fancy. Forward hit by Carter on the reverse. Del Rio scoops up the fumble, 57 yards for the touchdown, and ties the game at 10 apiece. Lindy and Funny, scratch that one off the playbook, will you? Late in the third quarter, the Packers driving. Mikowski to Sharp, 18 yards. And Sharp breaks James Lofton's single-season Packer receiving yardage record. 2 plays later, Mikowski to work again, this time looking for Ed West, 5 yards of the touchdown. The Packers are up 17-10. And Mikowski on the day, 21 of 32, 232 yards, not picked off once. Aikman tries to bring Dallas back, but here's a hit. Watch Brian Noble, and Troy Aikman, Tom, has to learn something about this.
Well, you know, this hit is a legal hit. He's not hitting him in the head, he's getting him in the chest. But you're exactly right. Troy has to learn to use that slide.
Slide, pretend you're going into second base like Henderson. Aikman sacked by Tim Harris. And then he's intercepted by Dave Brown. Interception ties him for 5th on the all-time list. Sterling Sharp gives the coaches a hug. Anthony Dilwig says, I'm ready for Christmas. Got to play Santa tonight. And Lindy Infante gets the Gatorade bat. The Packers win 20-10. 10-6, their best record in 17 years. The Cowboys, 1-15, lose for an NFL record 14 straight at home. Green Bay is in if Minnesota loses to Cincinnati. And Lindy Infante says they have done their job.
Regardless of what happens here in the next few minutes or in the next, next day, these guys have an awful lot to be proud of.
We're going to pull for Cincinnati, and hopefully they'll play like they did against Houston. And we don't want them to win, 61-7. If they can just beat them 74-3 or something like that, we'll be happy.
If Cincinnati can